hot seat there. Greg, some fabulous pictures coming in WhatsApp from
some great
Sam
stuff
McGuire.
coming in from people with great memories of 92, 2012.
Yeah.
Although 92, even though I was much younger, seems much more vivid in my mind. I don't
Why
understand
is
that. I
that,
have
do you
no
think?
idea.
It's the same with me, I think.
I
don't
have
know
no
why.
idea why that is. I can remember particular details of 92, but 2012 then seems a wee bit less detailed, if that makes sense. I don't know why it is.
We'll remember this one anyway.
Maybe it's because the first is always the first.
I think the first always
Where
resonates.
are you today? I kind of overlooked
I'm
what
in
you were doing yesterday
Glenswilly.
because I was focused on the shows, right?
Yeah.
And you're cutting into, and we heard, in fact, I watched your insert into John's show. Brilliant crack.
The Waynes were great. The children, the boys and girls. And Jay, wasn't it, singing a song? He put his hand up. I thought he was going to ask me, he said, can I sing a song? I said, well, come on ahead then. And
That's
he was a
what
mate.
you need, the future stars.
And he belted it out. And well done to everybody down there in Glenties that looked after us so well. And that. So we're in Glenswilly GA Club
Brilliant.
today. Looking forward to
And
that.
we are going to be chatting to different people who are sort of organising watch parties in different countries.
Great.
Going
You're
to
some
great
kind of
distances to
comedian
come
coming on
back.
today, is
I
it?
don't know. I didn't get the running order, so I don't know.
All right, okay. You're looking out at the girls.
I'm only joking. So we poke at Donna Marie.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
he
you
went
busy-
viral. He went viral back in Donegal.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I like the way he
he's
says Donegal.
Donegal, yeah. So I'm
Donegal.
going to chat to him, see what the crack
Yeah,
is.
what state's he from?
I was in a wild state.
He's in a way. You'll have a. I think you'll have your work cut out with him today.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't do scripts or much prep.
Right.
That's just the facts.
I don't think you get a chance.
You asking me about the show in advance is never a good idea.
Aye, but I don't think you'll get an edge, word and edge way with that boy. I don't think.
Well, watch me.
Oh, I'd be watching. I'd be listening.
Right, you don't have too far to go to Glenswilly anyway. You can go and have breakfast.
No, and then we're going for a big long run down the country then.
Yes, good lads, good stuff.
Aye.
Yeah, saw the two lads leaving.
We'll see how that goes.
That's today.
Yeah, we're leaving, but we kind of pulled it back a bit because we got a lot of stops. So we're meeting a lot of interesting characters on the way from here down.
How do we follow you?
Well, you can follow me on my Facebook page
Okay.
and Zach and Casey's and Dennis and Leslie's and stuff.
So the same as your
same
trip
as the
over
previous
to...
trip. Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
brilliant.
just an add-on to the last.
All right.
Down
Good
to
stuff.
the-
I'll share some of that stuff out as well, of course. Listen, Lee, safe journey.
All right,
Enjoy
have a good
that.
show, right? Look forward to it.
All right, then. It is the 9 till noon show. 9:09. Let's get a news update and cross over now to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Government will outline plans for €200 billion of investment in national infrastructure today. The National Development Plan sets out government infrastructure spending up to 2035. The money is made up of the €14 billion Apple tax and the sale of AIB shares, along with cash from other state funds. Taoiseach Simon Harris says the announcement marks an important day for investment.
For many years, people have reasonably asked, why do you set money aside? Why do you put money into funds for rainy days? Why do you run budget surpluses? Well, the answer is for days like today, so that we can put in place a plan worth over €200 billion to invest in things like housing, water, energy, things that will help attract investment to our country, keep jobs in Ireland.
There's calls for Garda to be adequately resourced to combat antisocial driving in towns and villages across Donegal. Councillor Terry Crossan has raised serious concerns following several incidents in Muff, Bridgend and other areas. He fears it's only a matter of time before someone is seriously injured or worse. Councillor Crossan says a more proactive approach is needed as much disruption is being caused to local residents also.
In the area of Huff, where it generally happens, it's the junction of the main street and the road from Muff to Burnfoot. It's the location of a residential home, and it causes great unease.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life following a house fire in the Brandywell area of Derry last night. The blaze broke out at Bluebell Hill Gardens at around 11 p.m. No injuries were reported. However, significant smoke and fire damage was caused to the property. While there were no occupants in the house at the time of the fire, a number of neighbouring properties were evacuated to allow emergency services to deal with the blaze. The 38-year-old man remains in custody at this time. A County Tyrone man who lost his arm in a farm accident when he was 12 says farm tragedies happen too often. It's National Farm Safety Week, with the IFA urging anyone working on farms to stop, think and act. William Sayre says when he went into hospital the night of his accident, 2 other farmers were also there receiving treatment.
We all become complacent on a farm. Familiarisation creeps in. And we live with this attitude, it'll never happen to me. For example, that night when I went into Donegal, there was a farmer who came in behind me 5 minutes later with a spinal injury. And when I got to the hospital, there was a young fellow who put his finger into a machine and lost a finger. So there's 3 people within 24 hours with injuries in farms.
Weather now today will be a dry day for most, with just isolated showers and some bright or sunny spells developing. Highest temperatures of 15 to 19 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with news again at 10 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
Dad, how does Mommy know a superhero called Quiva?
Quiva? Aviva. Mammy got new home insurance from the superheroes at Aviva.
Why are they superheroes at Aviva?
Because they helped her save 20%.
For 20% off home insurance when you buy online, it takes Aviva. Offer available when you take out a new policy online. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to minimum premium of €230 for home insurance, €115 for contents or buildings only. Home insurance is underwritten by Aviva Insurance Ireland DAC. Aviva Direct Ireland Limited is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. You're very welcome along to the 9 till Noon Show here in Highland Radio. We're all still continuing to build the excitement. We're all heading towards Sunday. It's the big one, isn't it? Lee Gooch keeping the build-up going excellently on the show. Good luck to him and the guys as they undertake another big drive for a fantastic cause. Just before I get into the show in general, Highland Radio's Road to Croker, the big match countdown live show, was broadcast last night and it was a cracker. I was chatting to a few people that were actually in at the show and they thought it was brilliant and really got the buzz going. So fair play to Oisín Kerry, Brendan Devaney and all the crew. If you've missed that, by the way, it's now available for you to listen as a podcast on our website, not until after, I can't say after 12 because then that's John's show. But anyway, just don't switch off the 9 till Noon Show. But if you want to listen to that show from last night, it's there ready to go right now. And loads of good chat, actually. Obviously, some serious conversation about the game and our chances. But great live music, great crack, audience there, a big crowd. And I think they enjoyed it too, which is fantastic. Also, we have some brilliant stories, some brilliant people to chat to over the course of the next few days with memories of 92, 2012, how they're going to watch the game on Sunday. Maybe they have a special role to play in the match on Sunday, you know, some younger people as well. We put the call out on social media yesterday. We got some great stories back. But if you want to talk about how you're going to watch the game, where you're going to watch the game, get them into us, 086 60 25,000. We're going to be, during the ad breaks, if you're watching the show, and you can watch the show on YouTube, by the way, Highland Radio Ireland, at home on your smart TV, your Fire Stick, or on your mobile devices. We're on Facebook and the X platform as well. But during the ad breaks, we're going to be scrolling pictures of little ones from 1992, 2012, who were pictured with Sam Maguire. And I'm looking at some of the ones in 1992. They'd be big boys and girls now, wouldn't they? But anyway, so if you watch the show, you'll see a carousel of those brilliant pictures that people have been sending in to us as well. So we want any of your content to do with football, to do with the GEA, to do with the Donegal team. And we want your stories as well. We're a radio station and we want to interact with you verbally as well. So as I say, maybe you are listening in Dubai or Tenerife or America or wherever it might be. And I know there are time differences, but maybe you're organising a watch party, or maybe you're making the best of it, but would love to be home. Let us know, 086 60 25, 086 60 25,000. If you're outside the Republic, of course, 00353 8660 25,000. And for those of you who think, are we going over the top? No, we are not, because this is just as big as it gets in terms of sport, but also for us as a county. We have sometimes a lot to complain about, right? And that hasn't gone away. But we then have to be up for the crack too when we've got things going our way, don't we? And we have, thanks to Jim McGuinness, thanks to the lads, we've got a really exciting week and hopefully a spectacular Sunday to look forward to. So we have to make the hay whilst that sun is shining. So again, if you want to send in maybe you're a Sam Maguire baby, send your Sam Maguire photos from 92 and 2012 into the 9 till Noon shows. We get excited for Sunday's big games. Photographs on our socials. There's loads of them there. We'll share them out, as I say, during the ad breaks and so on and so forth. And we've got some lovely little stories coming in as well. Right, so let's run through the newspapers, though, as well, because we have to strike that balance, don't we? And we'll see what's making the headlines. Let's start with the Irish Times this morning. Fast-track planning to speed up projects in €200 billion plan. So this is the National Development Plan. I mentioned this on the show yesterday morning, and this sets out the government's plans for project delivery, be it homes, roads, infrastructure, etc. And, you know, the problem is at the moment there's a great deal of bottlenecks in delivery because of planning and everything. But anyway, exemptions in some environmental assessments and a planning fast track for key national infrastructure are measures being studied by the government in its bid to accelerate project delivery. The Cabinet Committee on Infrastructure was briefed last week on a review of blockages in developing projects. It was told that while common law jurisdictions are being hit hard by delays in infrastructure, Ireland is especially vulnerable due to the slow pace of the civil legal system here. As part of the review, reforms introduced in other countries are being examined, with the government considering whether legislative steps are needed. This comes as the coalition prepares to unveil its €200 billion National Development Plan, which was agreed last night when the funding allocation for the Department of Housing was signed off on. So we won't know the infinite details. So would the like of a rail link? Well, that's less likely. Okay, let's go with the 10T. You know, you'd want to see that in the finer detail, but that will be released in a few months. But there are other infrastructural developments up here that we'd be keen to keep an eye on, and we'll keep an eye on them for you, of course. The Irish Daily Mail, interested with your views in relation to your views on this. Vasectomies may soon be offered for free across the country for the health minister has confirmed. Jennifer Carroll McNeill was responding to a question by Labour's Marie Sherlock, who told the Dáil that it was time for men to step up and stop relying on women to use contraception. Responding to a parliamentary question from Ms Sherlock, Ms Carroll McNeill agreed that there was significant inequity of access to vasectomy, both geographically and based on ability to pay, and that the government is now considering free access to vasectomies across the country. She said that the Department of Health's National Sexual Health Strategy is committed to scoping the potential for expanding access for male and female sterilisation, including vasectomies for men. What do you think about that? Right, there's a couple of conversations going on here. Obviously, in terms of contraception, the ball is most often in the female's court, right? I mean, obviously there are actions guys can take, but I think for the most part, it seems to be, and I'm open to correction, women that have to take on that responsibility. But I mean, say for instance, if you use a contraception, it's you can come off it. I think a vasectomy is pretty much there, done and dusted, isn't it? And a woman being sterilised as well, a big call, a big shout. But what direction are we moving in relation to sort of population growth here? We have a vastly ageing population. We're not going to have enough young people actually to look after the older people very, very soon, actually, in the next few generations. And now we're making it very, very easy not to have kids. Should we be encouraging families to maybe have more children for the future of the country? I mean, other than that, obviously you have to rely on immigration. The country has to have younger people to look after the older people, to work and pay tax. That's just a fact of life. And we have a situation whereby it's becoming easier and easier, and maybe a lifestyle choice or a choice that's put in front of you, and now it's free for a woman to be sterilised, for a man to have a vasectomy. I just wonder, are we really thinking, you can't compel people to have kids, don't get me wrong, but maybe you can encourage people if there's financial consideration, or maybe they need more supports or what have you. So we've got 10,000 plus abortions a year. We've got free contraception. Again, I understand why that's important. And now free sterilisation or vasectomies for women and men. It would make you wonder where we're going and how we're actually going to survive as I was going to say as a race, but you know what I'm on about, as a country population. We are setting ourselves up for a situation whereby the only way the country might survive is to actually bring in younger people from other parts of the world, because there simply won't be the young people that you need to sustain a country and to look after those that are in it. It just seems that every avenue is anti a child being born, if that makes sense. That's not an opinion, it's an observation, and anyone could make that observation, and I would make the exact same observation around a kitchen table or at a bar. It just seems that everything is directing us to not having children, and that's all that's free, and that's what's handy. And we need young people. I'll need young people to look after me if I survive another 20 years. What do you think? Have you any concerns in that regard? Any views in relation to that? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Should I be looking at this purely as a, that people can make responsible decisions about not having children that they don't want, or, maybe having children that they can't afford? I don't know. But if I look at all of the evidence before me, it seems everything is laid out to make it very easy not to have kids, and there's very little seemingly there to encourage or support people to have children. And as I say, the fact is we need young people. That's, we would just literally cease to exist without repopulation. Any views in relation to that? 086 60 25,000, 086 60 25,000. I mean, we're already seeing schools closing because there simply isn't kids in an area in great enough numbers to keep them open. We have to look after our kids. And one way we should be doing that more is online, I think. This is the Irish Independent. None of Ireland's most popular social media apps has implemented new age verification controls on the first day of the Irish media regulator's crackdown. A survey by the Irish Independent shows. I love the fact they call it a crackdown. It's toothless. It is absolutely toothless. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and X still require only self-declared age to create adult accounts and access adult content. Posing as a child user, the Irish Independent created new adult accounts for all the main social media services, as well as for adult-only services, Pornhub and OnlyFans. Within minutes, the test child user's account was being served hardcore pornography on X, as well as adult-themed content on Instagram. It comes despite insistence from Ireland's online media regulator, Commission Naman. The self-declaration is no longer permitted as a method of age verification. But as I say, I'm sorry, but that was always going to be a load of gobbledygook nonsense. The slaughter continues in Gaza. This is the Irish Daily Mirror, and 28 countries have now, including Ireland, Britain, Japan and a host of European nations, have issued now a joint statement yesterday saying the war in Gaza must end now. But it's not ending now, actually. What they're doing is the IDF, on behalf of the Israeli government, are now going into one of the pretty much last places that has not been completely wiped out. And, of course, they claim that the IDF has a battalion there in this one isolated large town in the middle of Gaza. They're telling people to clear out so they can flatten it too. Well, it's the latest sign of allies sharpening language. At what point? It's like the country's destroyed now, and now the allies are sharpening their language. But anyway, the foreign ministers of countries, also including Australia and Canada, said the suffering of civilians in Gaza has reached new depths. They condemned the drip feeding of aid and the inhumane killing of civilians, including children, seeking to meet their most basic needs of water and food. The statement described as horrifying the recent deaths of over 800 Palestinians who were seeking aid, according to the figures released by Gaza's health ministry and the UN Human Rights Office. And on and on and on it goes. And it's the images, it's the kids with their faces gone. You can't look at them. How could you look at them? But maybe we should. Maybe that's what we need to do. This is just as an addition to a conversation we had yesterday. We were talking about the diet injections, or the weight loss injections, fat jabs, people call them. And we were talking yesterday about how the fact that, your muscle can waste as well. So it's great that you're losing weight. They're fantastic for people to lose weight. But also that you need to do some resistant exercising as well. But I did ask the question yesterday, and it was quite coincidental, or oppose the scenario that, if you were taking them, when do you stop taking them? Because, what happens when you do stop taking them? Does it bounce back? Do you take them forever? Now, there are different situations. You get people who are clinically obese. They have the obesity disease. they potentially have or are at risk of diabetes, and it's a medical thing. But there are those then that can source them privately, that are taking them for, body image purposes, but perhaps with an eye on the health. So what happens after you stop taking them? Well, people on weight loss jabs start piling the pounds back on just 2 months after they stop taking them, research shows. The drugs works well for those who have failed other methods or are very large. However, the hunger signals they block can start up again once the treatment ends. A review found slimmers kept the weight off for at least 4 weeks after stopping, but started putting it back on by the 8-week mark. Patients who took Mounjaro regained almost half the weight they had lost whilst on the drug. Dr. K from Peking University People's Hospital said it is vital to establish long-term anti-obesity treatment. So, in other words, they work fantastically, but some studies are beginning to show that between 4 and 8 weeks, the weight goes back on. And in that one particular study, half the weight went back on. But that means half the weight stayed off as well. And finally, the papers are obsessed with Molly's breasts. This is Molly Malone. She's got 2 shiny boobs because people can't resist rubbing them and getting a picture taken with them. And they were so worried about it, they had a steward deployed to Molly Malone to ask people to stop touching her boobies. And that worked. But then when the steward left, the people came back and started doing it again. I mean, what is the problem? It's not something I would do, but what is the big deal? Why are they so keen to stop people doing this? Now they're talking about putting a flower bed around it. But anyway, council chiefs have given up posting stewards at the Molly Malone statue to stop tourists from groping it and are now scrambling to find a more permanent solution. Dublin City Council believes the practice is ingrained into sightseers and confirmed they're exploring the idea of installing flower beds around the base as a possible fix. Really? People are just going to climb on the flowers, folks. Rubbing the famous fishmonger's boobs for luck is believed to have been thought up by a cheeky tour guide in 2012. But why are they trying to stop it? I must try and read on. You know what? I never will. Do you know why they're trying to stop it? 086 60 25,000. Save me the Google, because I'd have to Google her boobs and I don't want that in my search history. Give us a call too on 07491 25,000 if you wish. Keep your pictures of the kids in the Sam Maguire Cup. We have them from 2012. We've got them from 92, and hopefully we're going to create a new crop this month. We'll play them out to you as we take the ads. For those of you watching, a little Brucey bonus. Back with more in the 9 till noon show after we take this commercial break.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
The McElhinney Summer Sale is now on with incredible savings on all your favourite designer brands. Enjoy up to 50% off fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more with unmissable offers in every department. Visit us in-store in Ballybuffet or shop our summer sale online at mcilhinneys.com today.
Get more fresh berry favourites for less with Lidl. Ripe for the picnic? Our juicy raspberries and blackberries are bursting with flavour, perfect whatever the weather. And for the sweet taste of summer, succulent strawberries 250 gram was $2.79, now only $1.79 with Lidl Plus. Save even more when you go full Lidl this summer.
If you're in Dublin for Donegal's All-Ireland final, make your way to D2 at the Harcourt Hotel, Harcourt Street. Donegal's home away from home, with fantastic entertainment, including Rory Gallagher of Jimmy's Winning Matches on Saturday night the 26th and Sunday evening the 27th after the game, exclusively live at the D2, with support by Donegal's very own Duck Street Jam Band. Experience the best big match atmosphere all weekend long at D2 the Harcourt Hotel.
At Blue Poppy Dentistry and Orthodontics, we specialise in creating confident, natural-looking smiles through expert composite bonding. Doctors Anna and Lydia combine precision and artistry to reshape, refine and refresh your smile with stunning results. It's just one of the many ways Blue Poppy puts your smile first. Call us on 074 91 20355 or book online at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town, where smiles shine brighter.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time now, 23 minutes past 9. Just to let you know, the graveyard mass in Tully Graveyard, Balliar on Sunday the 27th has been moved forward to 1pm due to Donegal playing in the All-Ireland. A caller says, good morning, Greg. Leaving my little one off to preschool this morning. The roads are awful with overgrown grass. The cars are nearly in the middle of the road before you can see what's coming up or down the roads. It's a disgrace. The hedges and grass needs cut. It is. The roads are getting very narrow. I don't know which area you are in, but yeah. I watched Jim McGuinness singing with Daniel O'Donnell last night's Destination Donegal. My goodness, he can sing. Is there no end to that man's talents? I haven't heard him sing. Right, okay. Let's say good morning to Nathan now. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Greg.
Right, we were talking or reading in the newspapers about the government considering making vasectomies free, sterilisation for women free, more accessible right around the country. You text in, what's your view?
Yeah, so I texted in saying I think an argument can be made that access to permanent contraception or sterilization for both genders is pretty much the same, if not more available to men. You can ask any woman if they went to their doctor about getting sterilized. There'll be a whole bunch of hoops they'll have to jump through. If they're married, they'll have to get the husband's permission, all this kind of stuff. Whereas a man can go for a vasectomy whenever he wants. But the real problem in contraception comes down to access to temporary contraceptions between the two genders, because men only have access to condoms, whereas women have pills, patches,
coils, loads of different stuff,
etc., etc.
Yeah.
Now there is headway in this. I read recently there's a new pill for men in final stages of testing or something like that. But
do you think, Nathan,
jumping to sterilization?
I'll ask you about that, but do you think even if there were a contraceptive pill available for men, do you think men would take it? Like in big numbers?
I think so.
I don't know. I do wonder, would they? I wonder, would they sort of go, well...
I mean, the question becomes down to, it would be both parties would have to take it. It wouldn't be a case of you couldn't necessarily trust every man to take. When he says he's taking the pill, that he's taking the pill. But a woman would still have to take her own pill.
Well, then you'd sort of go, well, if you're taking your pill, why should I take my pill? Do you know what I mean?
It's about building the whole. I mean, a woman should still be taking her pill if a man's using a condom, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, because
the
condom serves a double purpose, of course, for both. It's not just about contraception. It's an I don't know the answer, Nathan. I was just supposing as you put it to it. But you were going to go on to talk about sterilisation then.
Yeah, I just don't think the government should be jumping to because as you said about the whole, we're approaching a bit of a fertility problem here and we're good for Europe in terms of fertility problems. The rest of Europe's even worse than us, but we're starting to hit that point now, and we have to look at Korea and we have to look at Japan and how bad things are starting to get there, and we really need to think about things before we start going, yes, it's free for everyone to sterilize themselves. Jump ahead. You know what I mean? That's a very careful consideration we have to make.
Yeah, and as I say, and this is not a moral judgment or a judgment on democracy or an anti-this or a pro-that, but we are seeing in excess of 10,000 abortions a year. That's happening. Now, abortions were always happening, do not get me wrong, but you couple with that then... and maybe it might have an impact on that number. You couple that then with people being permanently sterilised, not to ever have kids, and both the access to both has been made as easy as is possible, right? What are we doing to promote the positives of having children or the support for people having children? Or, it seems to be sexy now to say I'm 40 and I'm childless and I'm free and I don't need a babysitter. It's just everything. I'm only twigging this now, to be honest, but everything seems to be designed to make it cool not to have kids or easy never to have kids.
Yeah, and I actually did send on a follow-on text to my last text before I got called by by you guys there. But yeah, like I would say that like my generation, because I'm now 31, I would say my generation were kind of like had it beaten into our heads to not have kids, at least until you're very well set up. You know, don't every single adult around us, all the TV shows, the whole media culture around us was don't have kids until you're fully set up. And now look at the situation that our society's in.
But you see, the truth is you're never fully set up to have kids. You
Exactly.
never are, unless you're incredibly privileged. But you're not. You really have to sacrifice an awful lot to have children. But now that's being seen as a weak choice.
Yeah.
You know, women are nearly 30 now before they have their first baby. Men are in the mid heading towards the late 30s before they have their first children. You know, we have people go, well, why is there auto enrollment for pensions? Because the money's running out. We're going to have too many old people and not enough young people. That's one of the key reasons why there's auto enroll in pensions, because we will not be able to meet the cost of pensions.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
the whole social contract is built upon, you know, you will have kids. Those kids will then work to pay for you whenever you are old and infirmed. That's how the social contract works. That's how pensions work. And we're breaking that by not encouraging people to have kids. We're breaking that by not helping people find homes so that they can have the kids in. And we're not helping by creating a culture that continuously promotes not having kids through the media.
You used a phrase, rugged individualism. Is this one you've coined, or is that one that's out there? What's it about?
Well, it's sort of this whole, like, all of this I would say it's one that's out there, and it's sort of tied to the whole internet selfish culture that we have right now, where everyone is individualistic. We have lost sort of community and cooperation, and then this has been on the decline since Reagan and Thatcher in the 80s. You know, since we started selling off public assets en masse, and everyone is now corporatized and in their bubbles. You know.
Yeah, but also, too, it's the way the state is set up. It's not just here. Say, for instance, for women, it is almost still a choice whether you have a career or kids. You know, it is a problem in some companies. If you have children, it can affect career progression. You know, you are being told it's not all about women, don't get me wrong, but we don't have the same problem as fellas. You're being told that you can, you know, reach the top of a company and be a CEO or whatever it might be, but you can't do that and have kids as well. You know, so society's not set up really to harness or embrace families, I don't think, looking on.
No, I would agree with that. It's not set up to embrace families or encourage the continuous growth in a constructive manner.
And it is a Western thing, particularly. So, you know, the demographics of the world are...
Again...
When I say Western, sorry...
South Korea and Japan.
Sorry, yes. Western in inverts, you're correct. I know the likes of China are reviewing their child policies and what have you, and they're actually having to seek to, you know, this idea that China was a closed off country, they're now actually seeking people to come into that country because of the same reasons we're talking of. You know, certainly parts of Asia and the United States, Europe, but there are other parts of the world where it's far more family orientated.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
All right, Nathan, thanks for your input. I really do appreciate it, by the way. Thanks for taking the call after the text. Hi, Ewan.
Hello, Greg.
What say you? Good morning to you. I'm doing all right, Ewan. All's good, actually. It's a great...
That's good.
Yeah.
No, I was just listening to the conversation there, and to me personally, I think that the reason that young people are not having children today is just because the price of everything's gone through the roof. They can't afford to have them because they can't get houses for a start, but if they could, they cost them a fortune. The food prices have gone through the roof. Sending children to school has gone through the roof. They just can't afford to have the children. The government...
Just in relation to that, Ewan, I don't know what age you are, but I'm old enough to remember where there were more big families. We had a big family. There were 7 of us in the house, right? And I don't want to sound like an old fart, but the truth is we didn't really have much. Now, we had everything that we needed, but we weren't able to pick and choose what we had to eat in the evenings. we weren't able to sort of pour a litre of milk over some cornflakes every single morning. You know, Mum and Dad weren't able to have a very expensive car. They never went on holidays. If they did, it was sort of driving somewhere. Like, you know, my point being, if it was down to finances and the cost of doing stuff, my parents wouldn't have had 7 kids. Because they, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's not like
you
they
have a wee point there, because there are actually 10 of us in our family.
Yeah, but did you have? I mean, did you get to say, right, Mum, I don't fancy that stew tonight? It was put in front of you.
Whatever my mother put on the table, we had to
yeah.
eat it, and if you didn't eat it, you'd eat the fingers of yourself the next time, because the.
And how often were your mum and
a different tale for everybody, you know?
How often were your mum and dad down in Lanzarote whilst you were all in the house?
Oh well, my mother, I think, when we were growing up, she never was on holidays, to tell you this.
So that, you see...
And my father wasn't on holidays very often either, because he worked 7 days a week.
And that was for you guys. We don't do that.
That
I'm not
was
saying
for
what's
us,
right
right.
or wrong, but that's... My point, the reason what I was trying to say all of that is, I don't know what's right or wrong, but if we were waiting, we want a certain lifestyle, and if we were waiting to sort of have that lifestyle and then have children, that's not going to happen till you're in your 40s, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Now, I hear people saying, and I hear it on the radio here often, but people saying that the people are living longer.
Yep.
I have to disagree with that.
Okay.
Because I actually lost my daughter last year.
Oh, no, you know.
And I know a lot of people that has lost their families as well before me, and even up to now. And I'll tell you this, I was going to the graveyard nearly every day.
Yeah.
And the amount of young people that's in the graves in the last 5 years,
there's
very little old people, and it's all young.
Yeah,
I keep hearing about the young people are living longer and the old people. That's not true, because you want to take a look at the graveyard in Lake in Cornwall and see how many old people have been buried in the last few years. It's all young people. I don't know what's going on, but I know one thing: they're not living longer.
Yeah. Are you okay? How are you holding up, Ewan? It's every parent's worst nightmare.
Well, I was getting it very tight to tell you the truth there for a long time there.
Okay.
I'm still not over it, and I'll probably never get over it. But it's not easy. Not an easy pill to take.
No.
But getting back to the housing or the young people not having children, I don't know. I know you have a point there. What you're saying, the old people years ago worked at it, you see, and they made the money. I suppose when you think on it, you could work with less, you know, but there's that many things going on today. A young person today looking for a phone now, a phone that's 60 or 80 quid or 100 quid is no good to them. They want one at 500 or 1,000 now. It has to be these iPhones.
Yeah.
They want too much and they're getting too much.
Yeah, and we want a lot. We as the grown-ups too. Do you know, we want to have the house, the security. We want to have a nice car in the driveway. You know, we want to maybe to get away once every now and again. But as I say, I know my parents, and we've heard from your parents' union, they weren't fit to do so. But that was okay. You know, that was okay. I don't think my mum and dad felt hard done by, and thankfully they did get to travel a little bit later in life when everyone had peed off. But you know,
aye. And so did mine, thank God, in later years as well. They did, but they worked hard at it for a long time to rear 10 of us. And my father was never on the dole in his life. He walked door to door, and he reared the 10 of us from just a van running around the country. And after he passed away, I heard a lot of lovely stories about him from people that he used to go to. Because when way back, was 40 odd years ago, he had a heart attack, and I had to do the run for him, and I met a lot of people. I know a lot of people all over Donegal, and I met a lot of people after, and they were telling me stories about him, and I thought it was lovely to listen to the stories. But my father, years ago, they used to work on a book system, you know. People couldn't afford to pay the full money, so they worked on a book, and they paid so much a week.
And was it food? What was
it? Some of the old stories.
Was he doing food deliveries, Ewan, or what was he doing? If you don't mind saying, obviously.
My father had a nickname called Make-a-Bob, because everything there was money and he was at it.
Make-a-Bob.
He had a butcher business going for one time. He had a clothes business. He had a shoe shop. He had a coal business. He had farming going. and he ended up with fruit and veg before he finished. But I mind a revenue man years ago, and it wasn't a revenue, it was a man in Country. I worked in a medical factory in the beginning here way back in 1980, and he was head of the union. And he landed at my father's wake, and I looked at him and said, I think I know that man's face there.
Mm.
And I went over and I spoke to him, and I says, I think I know you. And he told me who he was, and I says, how come you know Daddy? He says, how do I know Fancy? He says, well, you'll not believe this, he says, but he says, he sold me my first new car. Jesus, I says, I never knew he sold new cars. I knew he sold second-hand ones, but I never knew he sold a new one. He sold me my first new car way back. It must have been in the 50s or early 60s.
Wow.
But he was, everything there was money in, he was at it. And
Make a
that's
bob.
the way that's make a bob. And I only found that out the day that he was being buried, for my sister went up to tell a story, and she says, not many people know this, but my father had a nickname, and I said, oh God, what is she going to come up with? And she says his nickname was Make a Bob. So I thought it was actually very fitting, because the one sure thing, whatever there was money in, he was at it.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's carpets, furniture, cars, scrap, firemen, he tried his hand at everything. And I remember one time when I was in the farm with him years ago, I was only about 16 at the time, and that was something that I never done before, and they told me to do it, and I says, I can't do that. He says, what do you mean you can't do it? I says, I never done it before. He says, don't say you can't do something, you try it once. So I left school at 14, and I had no knowledge much of books, because I wasn't interested in them. All I was interested in was farming. So I left school at 14, and I was farming for a number of years after it, and I left that then, and I went to the medical factory in Letterkenny, and I was roofing and concreting and curbing. I was doing a bit of stonework and plastering, and I helped to run a shop in Galway for 10 years, way back in the late 80s or 90s. So I learned that all out of school. So that was one thing he learned me. He says, always don't say you can't do something, you try it once, and he was right.
It's amazing how your dad's words can stick with you, isn't it? Just one little, well, I'll say little, but one conversation, and that sort of set you on this pathway to become not quite Make a Bob Junior, but you know how to make a few bob here and there anyway.
He what do you call it? He always says to me, he would always say this saying, you know, use your head, your feet for dancing with.
Yes, I heard that one myself.
That was another saying he had, you know.
Yeah.
He was a great man, but I tell you, whatever I've learned up to the day was down to him, I have to say, even though I had no interest in books. It was hard to work with, but he meant well, like, you know.
Yeah, but it's like there would have been people glad to see him coming over the lane too, because, I mean, especially with bigger families back in the day, you'll hear the stories of the men or women landing with a suitcase, you know, and open the suitcase, and, you know, the larger families just dig into that, and that's how you, there was no trips to pennies or what have you. You know, that's how you got the clothes together for the kids for school or for something that was coming up or what have you.
Well, this man now worked wild hard. He would have left the house in the morning at 8 o'clock. I met him in home till 12 o'clock at night. And Mammy wouldn't go to bed until he landed back in again, and she had the dinner still ready, sitting in the oven waiting on him when they come in. Whatever time he come, the dinner was sitting ready. It was always kept warm.
And there'd be one room
But I'll tell you a wee story before I go.
No, go ahead, Ewan. Carry on. I'm in no rush.
I'll tell you a wee story just about him. I mind him coming back one evening, you know, from the run, and he looked at my mother and he says, Rose, he says, I had a great proposition today. Did you? She says, aye. I suppose you're going to tell me about it. He says, well. Says, what was it? Says, the wee woman, says, I got in to get my tea with, and it was on a Thursday, you know, down by Donegal. And she said to him, she says, Fancy, would you look after me? She says, I have a great farm here, and I have plenty of money in the bank, and the cows and things here. She says, it's all yours if you look after me. Aye, Jesus, says woman. He says, one woman's enough for me. And how many times Mammy this crack, you know, Mammy she all she could do was laugh. Because to him just was just now the woman only meant for him to look after her, you know, maybe in her older age or something, but Daddy just had no woman. He says, one woman's enough for me.
Oh, lovely. Brilliant stuff.
But he used to have great stories around the country.
I would say, and do you know what? He'd be spreading the stories as well, because he'd be carrying one story from one house to the next, or one business to the next.
There were women, not just all women, but the older woman loved him, because he was a man with great chat, and he travelled about 1,000 miles a week, you see, door to door. And he would know what's going on around the country. He used to tell the younger people, even a cousin of mine, he used to tell them if the farmers if there weren't many potatoes, and he would say to him, put you in some potatoes this year, because he says they're going to be a good price. So I don't see very many on this year around Donegal area. And he never was too far wrong,
And did you mention he was running a book too? So, I mean, I presume he would also have a bit of credit there, a bit of tick or whatever it might have been called too, help people out.
You see, when he was around the country, you see, people couldn't afford to pay the full money, so he had a book where they would pay a couple of bob a week,
All right.
And that's the way he actually reared all of us. That's the way he had his life, going around the country, door to door, just selling stuff. He never went to shops or hotels or nothing. It was all just door to door. A lot of the people would be down around Gidor and got the Hork and Dunlow and Kelly Beggs and away all around that area, and then Swally. And
there'll be people remembering him today. He was just known as Fonzie, was he, when he landed at the door, or?
Well, they knew who he was, Fonzie McNamee, but they knew him. They knew Fonzie, but they knew Daddy very, very well. Okay. I remember the time of the week, and there was actually carloads of women sitting outside the gate at 9 o'clock in the morning, coming on to pay their respects, and they were crying.
Well, you see, obviously, he was calling around to homes where the fellas were out working, and he'd have a chat with them, and building up a rapport too as well. They'd be glad to see him coming over the lane, I would say.
They were glad to see him coming, surely, because a lot of them, there were no shops. You see, Lidl and them things wasn't about then,
Duns weren't delivering to your door. Duns weren't delivering to your door then?
No, there nobody delivering the doors really. Way back when he started, it was and they were quite glad to see him, because when he was on the drapery, he had a drapery shop as well too. One time,
Right.
And I remember a wee man. It was my mother was along with him at the time, and this wee man used to come to me from Buncrana side, and he said to me, he said he was only a young fella at the time, but he was like a 45-gallon drum. He was large. He turned me out himself, And he says that when his mother went to get a look at trousers for him, she says, could never get the trousers right, because either the waist wasn't right or the legs wasn't right. Some one of them wasn't right anyway. But Daddy landed this day, and Mammy was with him, and the mother said, the young fella's mother said, I'm looking for a pair of trousers for this boy, but it's very hard to get a pair of trousers to sort them out, because it's neither the waist wrong or the legs wrong. And Mammy took a look at him, and she says, hold on, man, she says, and shoot out to the van and come back on again. Try them on. And they were perfect in the waist and they were perfect in the leg. And he was telling me this story. Now, I only met the man a few years back, but he was telling me that story because that was going back about 50 years ago. And he says, to this day, he says, I'll never forget it. He says, your mother, he says, Rose, he says, the only woman could ever fit me with a pair of trousers that I never had to take them up or take them on or take them out.
Amazing stuff. Ewan, listen, thanks.
Some great stories,
Thanks for all the memories, and thanks for sharing Fonzie with us. And I'm really sorry to hear about the passing of your daughter, and I'm glad that you're dealing with it or coping with it or living with it. I know you say you never get over these things, but thinking on you as well in relation to that, and hopefully your dad's. I'm sure your dad's.
Pray for every day.
I'm sure your dad. Do you mind me asking her name?
I go to the chapel and say my rosary for everybody, and I just have a wee thing here in the sitting room here, looking at me here, just for a photograph, and the wee thing sitting around it here, and I just be chatting to her myself here.
And what's
I don't know how people deal with it, but.
What's her first name, Ewan? What's your daughter's
Rosemary.
first? Rosemary. All right. God rest Rosemary. Yeah. I'll think on her later, Ewan, as I'm sure many will, and I'm sure she's with Fonzie. Listen, God bless you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much,
All right.
God bless.
Okay, take care, Ewan. And thanks for chatting to me. I really do appreciate that.
The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out shaneconleycars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town. Thinking of changing your floors? Why not see what Floor at Letterkenny has to offer? Floor at have a large selection of solid, semi-solid and laminate click vinyl wood flooring together with a fantastic choice of parquet, herringbone flooring, all at incredible value. Don't delay. Call Floor at today on 087 161 7008.
Dunfanny Golf Club on the Wide Atlantic Way. Open week starts 24th of July through to Sunday the 3rd of August. 3-ball better ball, open ladies and gents stroke in Stableford. 4-ball better ball and team classics. Just some of the daily competitions you can enjoy. Hit the fairways, enjoy the crack and be part of the Festival of Golf. To book, call 074 91 36335 or visit dunfannygolfclub.com.
It's here, it's now, it's Belfast. Come and celebrate creativity at Ireland's biggest community arts festival, Fela and Fubble. For country fans, Nathan Carter, the Whistling Donkeys, Lisa McHugh and more will be playing your favourite tunes at Country Fest on Saturday 2nd of August. Dance music more your thing? On Friday 8th of August, the legendary Fela Dance Night takes over Falls Park with acts including Dara and trance legend Paul van Dyk. Uncover it all at visitbelfast.com.
Does 2 All-Ireland final tickets and an overnight stay in Dublin the weekend of the big match sound good to you? Well, Highland Radio has teamed up with AirGrid and one lucky listener will win tickets for the All-Ireland Senior Final at Croker Park on Sunday 27th of July, plus a stay in the Harcourt Hotel in the centre of Dublin the night before the big match. Tickets are just €5 or 3 for €10 and can be bought now at highlandradio.com. The winner will be announced on the 9 till noon show at 11:45 on Wednesday the 23rd of July. More details at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Your next new car is waiting at Manor Motors, your Opel dealer in Donegal. This 252, get a €1,000 trade-up booster on any Opel model and enjoy 2.52% finance. Choose from the bold new Corsa, stylish Astra, eye-catching Mokka, or all-new Grandland. Available in petrol, diesel, hybrid and electric. Don't miss out. Visit Manor Motors in Manor Cunningham or see manormotors.ie. Manor Motors, your trusted Opel dealer in Donegal.
Callan Tansey Solicitors LLP are holding a personal injuries and medical negligence clinic in Letterkenny. They will be in the Clanry Hotel, Letterkenny on Tuesday, July 22nd from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. To arrange an appointment, please contact 071 9162 032. In contentious business, a solicitor may not calculate fees or charges as a percentage or proportion of any award or settlement.
Attention Donegal, Derry and Tyrone. PD Bathrooms and Tiles are proud to unveil our newest and most stunning showroom in Lisfannon Business Park, Buncrana. Located right opposite the Northwest Golf Course, we offer unbeatable quality and incredible value. For 30 years, we've been the experts in total refits, stocking and serving as the sole agent for many top brands. Visit us today and transform your space with the finest bathroom and tile solutions. Telephone 93 95 884. PD Bathrooms and Tiles, where excellence meets value. Lisfannon Business Park, Buncrana, F93H10F.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So today will be a dry day for most with just isolated showers. There'll be a fair amount of cloud around, though some brighter sunny spells will develop at times too. Temperatures 15 to 19 degrees, but it was a very different weather picture yesterday, particularly in parts of Fermanagh. Kim Hay, owner of Emerald Guitars in St. Johnston, is with me now. How are you getting on, Kim? Thanks for your time.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Great to see you. Great to speak to you. Right, so you decided to go cave diving in an organised fashion. So tell us what happened and why did you go down the caves to begin with, and where were you and all that stuff?
Well, it actually was on Sunday afternoons. So myself and my husband Ali, or Alistair, as most people know him by, we do this thing where we plan different days or nights for each other, and it's a secret to the other person.
Lovely.
So Sunday was my day to do a date day. So I decided that because we're from Donegal, we always explore Donegal. And I thought, right, we have to do something different. We're always trying to find something different to surprise each other with. So I decided we'd go to Fermanagh, visit around the lakes. We went to Lusty Beg for lunch. We kind of ate lunch outside. The sun was shining. It had forecasted for some showers, but to me in Ireland, it forecasts for showers all the time. So we kind of thought, well, we like driving. If it gets really bad, we can just drive to different locations and kind of go in to different places for coffees and things like that. But for the most part, it was dry. And then we could see the darker clouds rolling in, and we thought, okay, it is going to rain. So we're kind of looking at the maps and thinking, what is there in the area to do to get out of the weather for a bit? So I kind of thought, okay, we're going to go to the caves. I hadn't been there since primary school. So
yeah, these are the Marble Arch Caves. Lots of us would have gone there on the school tour, all right, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of my last time there, I was only, I think, 11 or 12. I was in primary school. So we decided, okay, to get out of the rain, we'll go visit the Marble Arch Caves. So we went there and we booked onto the 4:15 in the evening tour. I think it was the last tour for the day. It wasn't raining when we went into the visitor centre or when we started to enter the caves. There was no rain, there was clouds. And again, they weren't like huge clouds. It looked like the heavens were going to open. It was just getting a bit grey. We went in, did the tour. And yeah, that's when kind of everything went from going into the caves to avoid the rain. I came out of the caves absolutely soaked.
So the skies opened and it bucketed down quickly. When you were in there, if you're not familiar with it, you don't know necessarily what's normal, what's abnormal, right? So you started seeing water gushing downstairs and stuff. Was it clear that this is abnormal, or is this part of the fun?
Well, I think as the caves, they do the safety breach before you go into the caves of just what to expect, and that, every now and again, sometimes the lights go out, but they have generators that kick in pretty quickly. They never mentioned water coming into the caves. They actually joked on there's a part of the tour that you get on a little boat. They had joked that nobody has fallen into the water yet, but if you want to be a first, so the kind of the tour guide was really humorous and kind of, so going in, it's one of those things where you can go in there, like, I know in my social media, a lot of people had commented, why did she go into caves dressed like that? I mean, it's a cave that's accessible for everybody.
I don't worry. I'm not worried what people are saying on social media about what you're dressed in, Kim. Oh, come on. You've just... Oh, my, why? Why? You can think it, but don't type it. Who cares? All right, okay.
I mean, those comments didn't bother me.
I know. It's
hilarious.
It triggers me. I don't know why. So, I'm so short on time here. Did you feel at any point in danger, or... Because, I mean, did it feel like water was rising, or your passage out could have been blocked? Or maybe you come across as a very calm person anyway, Kim, so I suppose it's subjective.
Well, I think, the first kind of part where I was like, oh, the lights did go out, they flickered, and then the generator did kick in pretty quickly. Then the lights went out a second time, and I thought, okay, the generator's supposed to be working these lights, but it came on very quickly again. And then they had radioed through from up above to say there's torrential rain on the surface, and just to warn us when we're coming out of the caves, because we had to get steps with handrails. Kind of, there's like quite a few steps out. Once you're out at the top, there's more steps, which kind of just to tell us to be careful, because the steps could be slippy because of the torrential rain on the surface. They didn't know at that stage that the torrential rain was actually running into the cave.
Wow.
So kind of there are natural little waterfalls in the cave, so you can hear trickles of water, but all of a sudden there was a rumble, and that little trickles of water became gushes of water. So yeah, our pathways were like turned into waterfalls. The water, like, I wasn't fearful that the water was rising and that we were going to drown. I think the moment of fear was when we turned the corner to the stairwells, and the stairs that we're supposed to go up looked like something out of the Titanic.
Yeah,
and you're just there thinking, okay. And there was 2 children on the tour with us, or not with us, but as part of the group that we went down in with. And they were about 10 and 8. So I could see that they were starting to become a little fearful, and their parents were just reassuring them that they were going to get wet. So they were kind of telling you are going to get wet, but kind of trying to make it fun and not like a dramatic thing for them. But yeah, I think it was inevitable we were going to get soaked before we got out of the cave. So,
Right,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's you banned from date days. It's up to him now for the next 2 dates. That's your punishment.
Well, he's actually talking about a skydive in a couple of weeks.
Oh, my
time, so I
word.
don't
Okay.
know.
Listen, lovely story. I'm glad you're out safe. For a lot of people, that, if you had claustrophobia and this was when you were going to face your fears, can
I
you
am
imagine?
claustrophobic.
Oh, no, right,
That's the
okay.
thing.
Right, all right.
But again, the caves are quite open. There's no parts where it narrows in kind of on
Okay,
top of
not
you.
so
But
bad.
yeah, it's one of those things. Life is an adventure, and you just have to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yep,
and
love
just,
it. I love your attitude. I think I'd be similar. Thanks, Kim. Take
Yeah.
care. Love to all. That's Kim Hay, their owner of Emerald Guitars in St. Johnston. Back with more after the break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Join John Breslin and the Around the Northwest team live from O'Hare's Bakery, Main Street, Letterkenny, as they celebrate 40 years in business. This Thursday, enjoy promotions, giveaways, spin the wheel prizes, product sampling, and of course, cake to mark the occasion. Don't miss the party at O'Hare's Bakery, Letterkenny, celebrating 40 sweet years.
Summer's here! Yay! So it's time to stock up on sun protection at Aldi. There's something for everyone, like Lacora SPF 50 Plus Kids Roll-On at only $3.49. SPF 30 Dry Mist Spray for $3.99. And After Sun with Soothing Aloe Vera at just $2.49. All water resistant and dermatologically tested. So spread the word. And the sun cream, while stocks last.
Looking for a great day out right here in Donegal? Step into the Crawley Distillery Visitor Experience. Proudly voted one of the best places to visit by TripAdvisor. Set in a beautifully restored historic building, it's where the story of Crawley whisky comes to life. Take a guided tour, explore the rich history and enjoy a warm fáilte in the heart of the Gaeltacht. Book now at thecrawleydistillery.com.
Get ready to dance the weekend away at the Highland Radio Country Music Weekend in the Clanry Hotel, Letterkenny from October 31st to November 2nd. 2 nights, 1 dance floor and some of Ireland's biggest country stars. Michael English, Patrick Feeney, Stacey Breen, Jordan McPollan, and I'll be there too, David James, and lots more to be announced. You can enjoy 2 nights bed and breakfast plus tickets to both dances. That's the Highland Radio Country Music Weekend. Spaces are limited, so book now online at highlandradio.com or clanryhotel.com.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, I'm Michaela Clark with the news at 10 o'clock. Government is to give an indication today of how much it will have to spend in October's budget. Ministers are being briefed on the summer economic statement at Cabinet this morning. It's already been made clear that once-off cost of living spending will be cut to allow for funding for long-term capital projects. Finance Minister Paschal Donohoe says they appreciate people are struggling, but says potential tariffs are posing a threat.
Given how uncertain the economic environment is, we do have to make choices. We have to prioritise investment in that which can support our country continuing to grow, while at the same time accompanying that with measures that we're confident we can afford but will be permanent.
There's calls for Garda to be adequately resourced to combat antisocial driving in towns and villages across Donegal. Councillor Terry Crossan has raised serious concerns following several incidents in Muff, Bridgend and other areas. He fears it's only a matter of time before someone is seriously injured or worse. Councillor Crossan says a more proactive approach is needed as much disruption is being caused to local residents also.
In the area of where it generally happens, it's the junction of the main street and the road from Muff to Burnfoot. It's the location of a residential home where there is a lot of elderly people housed there, and it causes great unease.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life following a house fire in the Brandywell area of Derry last night. The blaze broke out at Bluebell Hill Gardens at around 11 p.m. No injuries were reported, however significant smoke and fire damage was caused to the property. While there were no occupants in the house at the time of the fire, a number of neighbouring properties were evacuated to allow emergency services to deal with the blaze. The 38-year-old man remains in custody at this time. Efforts are underway to bring the World Sheep Shearing Championships to Donegal in 2029. Donegal County Council has agreed to support Clonmany Agricultural Show organisers in their bid to host the event, which would see up to 10,000 people attend each day. The local authority has also urged Fáilte Ireland to lend its support to the bid, given the huge potential it has to showcase Donegal right across the world. Councillor Martin McDermott says the hosting of the Irish Open in Ballyliffin in 2018 paved the way for major events coming to the county.
If you look at Clonmany and you look at the Clonmany Show and you look at Festival and what they've achieved out there, and you look at the Irish Open and what the council were able to put a traffic management in place, all this we've already done. So we just have to use the same template. So we're in a very, very good position to put a good programme together and put a good bid together.
The recipients of the Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Awards 2025 have been announced. Vincent Keaveney, Danny Hutton, Eileen Mulligan and Sean Donaghy will be honoured at the awards on Friday the 17th of October at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel in Buncrana, which commemorates the legacy of Tip O'Neill, former Speaker of the US House of Representatives, whose maternal grandparents hailed from Donegal. Donna Marie Doherty has more.
Alderman Vincent Keaveney, son of a Donegal man, made history as the first Irish-born Lord Mayor of the City of London in 2021-2022. A distinguished lawyer and civic leader, he has been a powerful advocate for inclusion, sustainable finance and the Irish diaspora. In 2023, he was awarded a CBE for his services to socio-economic diversity. Meanwhile, Danny Hutton was born in Buncrana and is best known as a founding member and lead vocalist of the American rock band Three Dog Night. The band achieved significant success in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Eileen and Sean Donaghy were originally from Rashini Ballyliffin and Cockhill. They've spent the last 34 years in Sydney, where they've become beloved pillars of the Irish community through their award-winning restaurant Mulligan's, But Belonging, supporting generations of immigrants, promoting Irish culture and raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for charitable causes across Ireland and Australia.
Weather now today will be a dry day for most, with just isolated showers and some bright or sunny spells developing. Highest temperatures of 15 to 19 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with an update again at 11 o'clock. Until then, you can keep up to date with the latest local news on our website highlandradio.com. Good morning. The obituary notice says for this Tuesday morning, July the 22nd. The death has taken place of Mary Gallina, née Kelly, Curramon, Ballybuffet and formerly of Corgery Road, Ahiarn. Her remains are reposing at her late residence. The house is strictly private place at the request of the deceased. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:15, going to St Mary's Church, Stranorlar for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass, followed by burial in Drumbo Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. The death has taken place of Roy Bell, Drumatoland, St Johnston. His remains will repose at his late residence today from 12 noon until 10 o'clock. Funeral from there tomorrow afternoon at 2:15 for 3 o'clock service of Thanksgiving in Rye Presbyterian Church, Manor Cunningham, followed by burial in the adjoining graveyard. Family time on the morning of the funeral, please. Family flowers only, donations in lieu if desired to the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland, care of any family member or Terence McClintock, funeral director. The death has occurred of Phelim McGill, Streleel, Carrick. Phelim's remains will repose at his residence today from 11 o'clock until 11 o'clock. Removal from his residence tomorrow, going to St Patrick's Church at Meenaneary for funeral mass at 12 noon, with burial afterwards in Carrick Cemetery. House private on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only, donations if desired to the Donegal Hospice, care of McCabe funeral directors. The death has taken place of Edward Eddie Doherty, Crossroads, Templemoyle, Culdaff. His remains are reposing at Kelly's Funeral Home, Carndonagh. The wake is private please at the request of the deceased. Funeral Mass this morning at St Patrick's Church, Clay at 11 o'clock, followed by burial in the adjoining graveyard. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired to Carndonagh Community Hospital, care of any family member or Kelly's funeral directors.
The Requiem Mass can be viewed live on Kelly's funeral director's Facebook page. And the death has taken place of Jean McMonigal, née Quigley, Carrow Keel, Quigley's Point. Jean's remains are reposing at the home of her son, Colin McMonigal, Carrow Keel, Quigley's Point. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:30 for 11 o'clock funeral mass in St Columba's Church Drung, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Funeral mass can be viewed live on stcolumbusdrung.net. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Ard Aving Dementia Unit, Carndunna, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin, Funeral Director. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio.
Oh, spicy.
The KFC Zinger Drip. Fiery Zinger fillet, cheese, lettuce, and Zinger sauce. Packed into a spicy bun. Available until August 31st. Full T's and C's at kfc.ie.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio.
You're very welcome back. We're into the second hour. It's Tuesday, so that means Community Garda information is on the way. We were chatting to Ewan before 10. His dad, Fonzie, was... Maker Bob was his nickname because he had a hand in everything over the years, including going door to door, and he ran a book so people maybe couldn't pay everything up front, and he helped them out in that regard. A texter said, what Ewan is saying resonates with me. My dad was also a delivery driver and was away from 8 a.m. to 12 at night. Mummy would have the dinner ready for him each night. My dad used to head off with his shirt and his big coat. Even in the summer, he'd have the big coat tucked under his arm. Mummy would say, what do you have that for? He'd say, I'd rather have it and not need it than be looking for it. You wouldn't hear of people working 8 a.m. to 12 at night these days. Health and safety wouldn't allow it. I'm sure this kind of story will resonate with people. Indeed, and a caller says, and I was waiting on these kind of texts because... We're blessed, you know. We're blessed that we are a big community here. In this, there's almost 200,000 of us, right? But you know, between this show and this radio station, we get to sort of interact and reach each other. So I knew people will remember Fonzie, and hopefully, Ewan, you're listening, because whilst it's some time ago, people remember your dad very fondly. And a caller says, Fonzie came into my home in Burt. My mother spotted a very comfortable pair of sandals on Fonzie's feet and commented on them. He took them off and sold them to my mother as she had sore feet, very sore feet, and he left our house in his sock soles. We remember Fonzie and his wife with affection. Thanks, from Kathleen. Another caller says, I remember Fonzie McNamee coming to us in Buncrana in 1967. Love this chat about Fonzie. Please have more of this pure gold. Well, it's all down to our listeners, and it just so happens that Ewan is a diamond and shared his memories with us. I was one of 8, born in the 1930s. 19 children was the norm. It was a different time then altogether. Yeah, I mean, 2's the norm now. 1, 2. And I don't want anyone to think this is a judgy conversation. It's more of an observation. It's more of an observation of how life has changed and maybe how our priorities have changed or what our expectations are before we have children, etc. So I don't want anyone to feel they're being talked about or targeted, because I was born into a different generation as well where the families were smaller. The Japanese sold more adult nappies than the kids' nappies last year. Italy's indigenous population is unredeemable. Germany the same. Europeans' native population cannot be sustained. Therefore, mass immigration policy, that's down to anti-family, anti-life, anti-human policies. Another, as the family goes, so goes the nation, and so goes the whole world in which we live. I believe that's a quote from John Paul II. Another, you cannot sustain population unless you put family centre of all policies. By family, I don't mean just mother-father. Family is wider than that. In ancient Ireland, it was called Finn, as in the name Fine Gael, family of the Irish. It was a wider group then. Hi, Greg. The free sterilisation scheme flies in the face of logic. We're facing a pension crisis due to a combination of reduced fertility and the systemic promotion of contraception and abortion. By 2050, there'll be 4 workers to 1 pensioner. the bringing immigrants into the country has not worked to resolve the issue. 80% of all of all migrants issued with a PPSN number in the past 2 years have never entered the labour market. I'd have to double check that stat. That seems incredibly high. But they say it's based on the Department of Social Protection stats. Germany has already discovered this, and as a result have tightened immigration laws and introduced measures to encourage citizens to have children. We need to encourage childbirth and fast. But the bottom line is whether you like it or not, and sorry to whisper the loud bit quietly, in terms of replenishing the population in Ireland or Germany or Britain for that matter, that is not going to happen. You might sustain birth rates, you might somewhat slightly increase them, but they've been on such a steep decline for so long that it can't be reversed. And to sustain countries such as the ones just mentioned, it will require migration. I have 2 sons who are a good age now. I knew that I didn't want more kids. 25 years ago, I asked to be sterilised. I was young and thought that was it. No more kids, the doctor said to me. If your 2 sons were killed, you'd have nobody. How would you feel then? I didn't end up getting it done. That doctor made me feel so low and I've never gotten over it. I've been on the pill since. I never got the opportunity to be sterilised. If we want to be sterilised, we should be allowed to. Just get it done. It shouldn't be a case of a questionnaire. It's a different situation for men to women. I agree, and it's your body, and you should be perfectly entitled to do what you want to do. I think it would be the responsibility of a doctor, the same as if you were getting a face tattoo. And I'm not degrading childbirth to a tattoo, but to make sure if you're doing something that's irreversible or very hard to reverse, that you consider all options and realities, but to sort of guilt you into effectively being able to have spare kids or something, that's horrendous, I think. And you should be entitled to make the choice that you make. And that's what I want to be very clear in sort of having this conversation. It is not to point the finger at anyone who's made a personal decision. That's fine. But if you set up a policy, and this is only a question, I don't know, if you set up a policy that almost promotes not having children, inevitably the trend follows that. That's what I'm saying. So what you have is people who may not go down that route, who may not want to make or may not have made that decision, then decide to make the decision. I mean, if you're a 22-year-old fella, right, you're out, you don't want ever to be tied down or have responsibilities. You go in and get a vasectomy. You think, yes, here we go. Firstly, it doesn't prevent you from catching any transmittable diseases, but then you could hit 29 and go, right, okay. So I just think we have to think about it a bit more, that's all. Let me see. Why is the Irish government determined to wipe out the Irish? We need a balance of young people for our very existence. Otherwise, they say our culture is lost, but our culture is ever changing too. Some would argue. The government are forcing people to dip into people's pensions to support young ones to get a house. This is not right in any form. Time this government was held accountable by the people of the country. Well, they were elected very recently by the people of this country. Greg, can you give a big shout out to everyone involved in Lifford and Porthall and surrounding areas for putting up flags and bunting? Congratulations and well done from Martin St. Johnston. Thanks. Enjoy your show. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. A couple of duplicates here. I'll read this again just in case this isn't the one I read earlier. The Graveyard Mass in Tully, Graveyard Balliar. I did read this on Sunday the 27th. It's been pulled forward to 1 p.m. because of Donegal playing in the All-Ireland. A caller says there should be a public viewing of the final in Letterkenny, similar to other towns in the county. Yeah, we'll plug that if you want, by the way. If you've got a public viewing of it, let us know. We'll share it out. Because there's going to be a lot of disappointment with tickets. I'm hearing from some clubs already. When I say hearing, I'm just reading on social media and stuff, that they've got far more requests in than they have tickets. And these are for fully paid up members that tick all the boxes. And I do note some are saying they're going to prioritise the tickets based on activity within the club. I don't know what that means. But it means inevitably some people are going to be disappointed, and it seems kind of a loose metric. But anyway, so listen, we're going to be looking for other ways to watch the game, aren't we? Good morning, Greg. Fantastic credit to Oisin, Kelly, Brendan Devaney, and all involved in last night's show. What a show they put together. God bless Highland Radio, and it's available now as a podcast. By the way, go onto our website in the on-demand section, and it's a great mix of top class analytics, a bit of banter, great music. We're going to play a song from it from last night as well. I'll plug it a bit further then. I'm told Erin Friel from Newtown Cunningham, a member of Letterkenny AC, she just got bronze in Macedonia. Congratulations, Erin, and everyone at the club and her family. Brilliant achievement. Great. Love to hear that stuff. And thanks for getting that in. I've loads of your memories from days gone by following Donegal. Thanks very much indeed. Loads of song suggestions, by the way. So if I need any songs from the Bonington on Sunday, I've got loads. So just to let you know that we are broadcasting a show from the Bonington Hotel in Dublin on the day of the match. I'm going down. I'm so excited. It's between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and lots of you will be down there already. Lots staying in the Bonington and the Harcourt and D2 and all the other hotels. Lots with really strong Donegal connections. Call into the Bonington because we want to chat and say hello and have a bit of crack as we build up for the game. And it's not a long walk actually then from the Bonington to Croke Park. But also as part of the show, you can just come in and watch the show or listen to it and interact and have the crack. We'll have some live music, we'll play some studio music and we'll get the buzz going. But also the Bonington are putting on a special breakfast. It's 20 quid, all you can eat buffet breakfast. Right, so you can eat that and you're sorted for the day. So if you want to avail of that, it's 20 quid. If you don't, just call in, say hi. I know some people are already calling in, looking forward to it. And some people are actually leaving a little bit earlier to land into the Bonington at 11 a.m. So they're leaving Donegal a little bit earlier. They're not staying over the night before. So anyway, the excitement is building. We've got your stories. We've got some great stories coming up. We've got some live music and so much more besides. On Highland Radio, your official Donegal All-Ireland radio station. We're building up to the big one on Sunday.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Tuesday the 22nd of July. You're playing on the brown sheet for the daily prize of €1,200. The reference number is S7. It's game number 30. The numbers are 28, 62, 66, 3, 4, 76, 26, 64, 87, and finally 35. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Donegal have made it to the All-Ireland final, and at Louis Walsh Opticians, they're so excited. To celebrate, they're offering free eye tests all this week. Yes, free eye tests all week. Book now on 9121,000 or call into Louis Walsh Opticians in the Courtyard Shopping Centre, Letterkenny. Some terms and conditions apply. Best of luck to Jim and the boys on Sunday from everyone at Louis Walsh Opticians, your local family-run opticians.
Travelling to Dublin for business? Donegal Airport's same-day return makes it easy. Fly out at 7:55 a.m. and return at 6:50 p.m. Great fares and low-cost parking. Save time and book now at aerlingus.com. Terms and conditions apply.
My Future Fund, the new auto-enrolment retirement savings scheme, is coming. You pay in, your employer pays in, and the state tops it up. It all adds up to a great way to save for your future and something to look forward to. For more information, visit gov.ie/auto-enrolment. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today. The Community Garda information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, monitoring homes and businesses in the Northwest for intruder, fire, panic and medical signals. Call Sheridan Security on 91 26025.
Okie dokie, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show, and that means it is time for Community Garda information, and we welcome into studio now Garda Claire Rafferty. Good morning, Claire. How are you keeping?
I'm good, thanks, Greg.
Good to have you with us as always. Okay, right, let's get straight into things, and we'll start with a burglary appeal in the southeast of the county.
Yeah, so this is in Pettigo, so we're appealing for information in relation to this burglary that occurred at St Mary's Church on the main street in Pettigo on Thursday the 17th of July between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So the door to the sacristy was forced open and entry was gained. The sacristy was ransacked, but nothing is believed to have been stolen. So we're appealing to anyone who may have observed any suspicious activity, vehicles or people in that area on that date to make contact with Garda in Ballyshannon, and their phone number is 071 9858 530, and as always the Garda confidential line is there as well, and it's 1800 666 111 with any information at all.
Okay, it always feels particularly despicable when a church is targeted. That's St Mary's Church on Main Street, Pettigo, Thursday the 17th of July in the daylight hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you've seen anything in that area, please get in contact with the Garda and let them decide if it's relevant or if it's not. Staying in the south of the county, we'll go to Rosnowla next, Claire.
Yes, so on Wednesday the 16th of July at approximately 11:20 a.m, 2 male teens entered the Franciscan Friary in Rosnowla and attempted to force open a donation box there. Their attempts were unsuccessful and no money was stolen, but there was damage caused while they were there. We have a description. One of the males was wearing a grey tracksuit with grey trainers and a black or navy baseball cap, and the second was wearing a grey top with blue jeans and black trainers. So if anyone observed these boys in that area around that time, we ask you to contact us, and we're particularly interested in hearing from anyone who may have travelled in that area with a dash cam between 11 a.m. and midday on Wednesday the 16th of July. So any relevant information should be passed to Garda in Ballyshannon on 071 9858 530.
And just in relation to the dashcam appeal there, because this is another despicable act, it's at any time in that hour. Let the Garda download it. They will decide if it's relevant or not, because you might have people reviewing it themselves and going, oh, there's nothing there. But I think with that window, let the Garda know and let them go through it in case they can spot something with their investigative eye that maybe the user can't.
Absolutely, leave it up to us. Just make contact with us and we'll work with you and get whatever we need.
Okay, right. So that's two not dissimilar instances, not too far away over a relatively short period of time. Right, moving north now to Ballybofey, Claire.
Yeah, so we're appealing for information in relation to a burglary that occurred at the water treatment plant at Mean Crumlin, Ballybofey, so McGrory's Bray there. This was at approximately 1 a.m. on Saturday the 19th of July, so that would have been Friday night into Saturday. 2 males wearing hoodies entered the grounds and proceeded to cut the locks of 2 shipping containers. Nothing is believed to have been stolen during the course of the incident, but we're appealing to anyone who may have travelled along that route, the N15 Ballybofey to Donegal Town Road, that morning between midnight and 2 a.m. with a dash cam or any information to make it available to us. You can contact again Ballyshannon on 071 9858 530.
Yeah, since the work was done there, good clear lines of sight. So particularly on a quiet enough time, if you were passing, you may have noticed something. Please get in touch with An Garda Síochána. Right, 2 instances of theft from a car. We'll start in Donnylloop, I think.
Yeah, so this one occurred at the Parochial House in Donnylloop between 9 p.m. on Tuesday the 15th of July and 2 p.m. on Thursday the 17th of July. A car that was parked near that location was entered and a set of keys and a small amount of cash were stolen from within. There was no damage caused to the car. So we're appealing to anyone who may have observed any type of suspicious activity or vehicles or people in that area on those dates or between those dates to make contact with us in Ballyshannon, or again the Garda confidential line 1800 666 111.
Now the next incident similar this time though at in Buncrana.
Yeah, so Garda are appealing for information in relation to the theft incident that occurred in the area of Ferris Lane, Buncrana, between 7:50 p.m. and midnight on Friday the 18th of July. So an unlocked car that was parked at that location was entered between those times. There was a set of headphones and a pair of sunglasses stolen from within. So if anyone observed suspicious activity in that area, or if you can assist us with any relevant information, we ask them to contact us in Buncrana, and the number there is 074 9320540.
Now, this is not to cast any shade at all on the victims of these crimes, because it's, life is busy, and sometimes we do let our guard down a little, and that's all this is accidentally leaving your car open. But it does leave you very, very vulnerable. Is there any general advice you could give us in light of, these two appeals and other instances of theft that we've heard on the slot?
We just ask people to be mindful and try and park in a secure location where possible, and always ensure that you have locked your car. If you're not sure, double check, hit the button again, and make sure. Do not leave anything worth stealing within sight, and do not make the mistake of trying to hide your belongings within the car once you've parked, because you never know who's watching you. So leave all valuables at home, and if you think there's anything suspicious at all, don't be afraid to ring us. Always report suspicious activity to us immediately.
Yeah, okay. Right, so we're talking now about instances in Lifford earlier this month.
Yeah, well, this one actually happened yesterday.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
It's a traffic-related incident and an alleged assault. And it was yesterday, 21st July, between 3:15pm and 3:30. So the traffic-related incident occurred at the roundabout in Lifford, and the subsequent alleged assault incident occurred a short distance out the Castlefin Road on the N15 just before the filling station, where people may have witnessed an altercation there. So we appeal to anyone who may have been in the area with a dash cam between those times to make the footage available to Garda. If anyone witnessed either of these incidents, we ask you to contact Garda in Letterkenny on 074 916 7100.
It sounds like it could be framed by some as a road rage incident. Right, okay. Now, a road traffic collision on the 20th.
So we're appealing for witnesses to this two-vehicle road traffic collision that occurred on Sunday the 20th at approximately 4:45pm on the N13 at Carronamady, Burnfoot. So one vehicle was exiting the slab road onto the N13, and the other vehicle was travelling on the N13 from Letterkenny towards Bridgend when the collision occurred. The two drivers and 4 passengers in the cars were taken to Letterkenny University Hospital to receive medical treatment following this collision. None of the injuries are believed to be life-threatening in nature, but we're appealing to anyone who may have witnessed this collision to make contact with us in Buncrana on 074 9320540, or if anyone travelled in the area again with dash cam, please make it available to us. Give us a call and we'll look into it.
And of course, if there's anything obvious in relation to the vehicles that people have observed in advance of the collision, I know that could be useful to Gardaí as well, given the fulsome of an investigation that needs to be. A couple of people contacted me soon after that, and by the sounds of things, people were very lucky to survive that collision. But if you've seen it, observed it, anything to do with it, pass that information on to Garda Síochána. And a second road traffic collision appeal, this time Cranford.
Yeah, this one is a bit worrying in nature. It's a different type of one. So in the early hours of Sunday the 20th of July, approximately 12:30, so this would be Saturday night, a motorist was travelling on the R245 at the Pans, Cranford, from Milford towards Carrigart, when they had to bring their vehicle to an abrupt stop after travelling around a corner, as they had struck what they believed to be a person on the road. Upon exiting the vehicle, the driver discovered that what he had struck was in fact dark clothing that had been stuffed with bags and covered in ketchup. The driver and the passenger of the vehicle were not injured, but they were both understandably very shaken up, and there was damage caused to the car as a result of this collision as well.
So is a line of the investigation, and I know there's more to the appeal, that someone had created this with a view to someone believing they actually had hit a person?
That's exactly what it seems to be so far, yes.
Unbelievable. And I know it's an ongoing investigation, that's a line of inquiry, but it does point to that, Claire. What a horrendous thing to do. Because your body would go into a shock, and even if you found out after the fact that it wasn't a person, you know, that sort of the remnants of that shock stays as if it were.
Absolutely. The slightest bit of an accident or thinking an accident happened can send people into all sorts of shock. And also, when this car came around the turn, it could have swerved to avoid what was on the road and into something else. You know, there's so many different aspects to this incident. Thankfully, and nobody's hurt, but it's something we're really looking into here.
Yeah, and as far as you're aware, and I know this is in a different area that you operate, but had the bags been made to look like a person, or?
I believe so.
Okay.
So we are following a definite line of inquiry in relation to this incident, and we're anxious to speak with anyone who may have travelled in that area and who may have observed a white car with 3 young males on board parked up nearby. This car is believed to have been in the area around the time of the collision and then immediately left in the direction of Kerry Garda afterwards. So we appeal to anyone who may have travelled along that route with a dash cam between midnight and 1 a.m. on Saturday night to make the footage available to us. If anyone travelled within the Kerry Garda area between 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. with a dash cam, we ask you to just get in touch with us as well so we can check it out. We're very anxious to progress this investigation, and we appeal to the males in question to make contact with us in Milford, and the phone number for us there is 074 915 3060. As already stated, we're following a definite line of inquiry, and all available CCTV is being sought and examined. So those involved in this very serious matter are advised to make contact with investigating Gardaí.
And okay, and in case it's not perfectly clear what Claire is saying, they're very confident of finding those responsible, and it's far better if you were to come forward in this process. And this is not Claire saying this. I strongly suspect there's probably videos going around or something as well. Don't forward them on, and if you've got information, get them into the guards. It's not fun. It's not funny. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible thing to do. All right. Some information on the Check It Fits service. This is useful, right? Because we think we're doing the right thing, don't we?
Oh, you know what I mean? You think it's right until you speak to these guys. So
I wasn't going to go that far, but now that you say it, yes. Because, you know, you think, right, we've got the ISOFIX or whatever it's called. It's in and everything seems right. But is my child too small for a booster seat, or am I putting the strap on correctly in my triple lock seat, or whatever it might be? There's loads of questions, and child seats, booster seats, the fully enclosed ones, they're fantastic, but it's imperative we're using them right, Claire.
Yes, there's so many different aspects. All the chairs are so different. They seem simple, but we just want people to make sure that they're right. So that's why the RSA are great with these free Check It Fit services, and they're coming to Donegal at the end of the month. Their service will be open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at each location, and there's no need to make a booking. You just turn up there. So I have 4 locations. The first one is Tuesday the 29th of July at Aldi in Buncrana. The second is Wednesday the 30th of July at Smith Toys in Letterkenny. Thursday the 31st of July at Super Value in Donegal Town. And lastly, Friday the 1st of August at Aldi in Dunlow. So the Check It Fit service is a nationwide free expert service which aims to put parents and guardians' minds at ease that their child's car seats is safely and securely fitted in their car. Experts will advise on how to fix any problem, demonstrate how to fit the restraint correctly, and answer any queries participants might have. There's information, if anyone wants to look it up, on the rsa.ie/checkitfits for more information. And there's also information going to be available on our Facebook page as well, if you want to have a look there.
Brilliant stuff. Community Garda information for this Tuesday, the 22nd of July. By the time one of your colleagues is in here next Tuesday, do you think we'll have Sam?
We better have Sam. Best of luck to all the lads. Hopefully now we get across the line on
All
Sunday.
right, brilliant stuff. That's what we're hoping. Okay, thanks so much. That's Garda Claire Rafferty. Back with more after the break.
The Community Garda information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic and medical signals. Call Sheridan Security on 91 26025.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
If you're aged 59 to 70, we will invite you for a free HSE bowel screening home test. Screening can help find signs of bowel cancer early, before any symptoms show, making it easier to treat.
I'm at Dublin Airport Terminal 1 doing a survey. Oh, here's someone. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a question? How far did you have to park from the airport? Oh, that far. Did you know that if you'd taken an expressway coach, it would have been super comfy and so easy to book, and it would have dropped you right here at the door? Oh, you didn't. Oh well, next time. Bye. If you're going to Dublin Airport, book online at expressway.ie and get right to the door. Don't go the car way, go expressway. Way better.
Join us at McCafferty's Dunlow during this year's Mary from Dunlow Festival for an unforgettable live music lineup featuring the Whistling Donkeys, All Folked Up, Rhythm and Sticks and more. Plus, watch Donegal versus Kerry on County Donegal's largest screen. McCafferty's Dunlow, your #1 destination for music, sport and great crack.
Is your little one starting big school this September? At Dunn Stores, we've got you covered for those memorable milestones. From waving goodbye at the gate to snapping that first proud photo in their new uniform. Feel confident as they take their next big step with quality schoolwear. Pick up a 3-pack of playproof polos from €5. Pair these with Easy Care joggers also from €5, plus a comfy sweatshirt from €3.75. Shop back to school in store and online now. Dunn Stores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply.
Summer toys at Tinny's Toys. Everything for an outdoor summer. Swings, slides, trampolines, goalposts, rebounders, sand table, wheelbarrows. Of course, we also have our massive range of kids, pedal and electric toys. Need something for those rainy days? Well, we've that covered too. With the likes of Brooder Toys, Lego, Marvel Toys, books and more. Call into our store on the Leck Road, Letterkenny, or shop online at tinnystoys.com. Tinny's Toys. Much more than just farm toys. Dan Boy.
Don't delay when you get your bowel screening invitation. Call us today on 1-800 45 45 55 or visit bowelscreen.ie. From the HSE.
Now our next guest on the show is Tara Grimes. Good morning, Tara. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, Greg. Good morning.
We are going to talk now about the unexpected menopause symptoms. We're getting better, aren't we, about speaking more openly about menopause. I think, and certainly in formats like this, I know it's a topic we cover extensively here, but there's always more that needs to be done, doesn't it? And we need to be having the right conversations too, as well.
100%. And with that increased exposure around menopause also comes a lot of misinformation as well. So I think it's really important that we have the science and the evidence-based information that's put out there, as opposed to the scaremongering as well. And as a registered nutritionist and trainer and coach for menopausal women, most clients come to me because they're struggling with one of the major side effects of menopause, which is change in body shape, increase in belly fat, increase in weight, and it can be quite distressing for women. But again, there's a lot of misinformation out there, so it's important that we keep it accurate and that we're not scaring women either.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, changes are a double-edged sword, because as menopause arrives, it arrives at a certain time in people's lives, and unfortunately often we have to do sort of public awareness things whereby you get women who put everything down to menopause as well. Do you know what I mean? And maybe other issues, more important issues are missed. You know what I mean? So I've got this, and that must be the menopause, when in fact it could be something else. So it's to make sure you check everything right, not to make people afraid or scared or what have you, Tara.
Yeah, 100%. And I do a lot of posts. I've done a lot of posts recently on social media around that very topic, because it's got to the point now where if you have an itchy nose, well, it must be the menopause. It's gone a little bit too far. And in my mother's day, it was just called the change.
Yeah.
It was a change of life, and nobody really talked about it, and it was kept hush hush. I don't know whether it was shame. I don't know whether women didn't want to discuss their private and personal details around their hormonal changes to other people. And it's great now that has changed. But as you said quite rightly, that with it has brought a raft of, I've got sore joints, oh, it must be the menopause. Oh, I've got a bad back. Oh, it must be the menopause. When in fact, a lot of it is due to other issues and not the menopause at all.
Yeah, and of course, then there are things that come with the menopause. Potentially, your bones can become a bit more brittle and what have you, and you need to keep your eye on that. So anyway, over to you, Tara, because you use your platform fantastically to speak to women. What are some of the key messages that you want to get out today using this platform?
Well, I think the most important thing is that a lot of menopausal issues are misconstrued to be connected to the menopause, when in fact it's got to do with a lot of people's lifestyles. Now, we have the vasomotor symptoms like, your hot flushes, your sleep disruption, brain fog, fatigue, sore joints, and yes, some of those can be contributed to changing hormones. Your estrogen levels drop, your progesterone levels drop, and testosterone. They don't even gradually decrease, Greg. They literally fall off the end of a cliff.
Yeah.
So it can be quite an abrupt sort of introduction into perimenopause and menopause. But if you're in a position with your health that it wasn't starting off well coming into menopause, then it's going to be a bumpy ride. And for some women, it feels like they've been hit by a truck. And I know from coaching women for a long period of time that a lot of their symptoms that they come into the program with reduce when they lose some weight, when they go out and even start doing something like going for a walk, when they start introducing more whole foods into their diet, when they start managing their stress. And a lot of the common symptoms like weight gain, sleep disruption, sore and achy bones and muscles, the brain fog and fatigue, they start to disappear, because a lot of those are contributed to their obesity or their weight, and not necessarily to to the menopause symptoms.
Yeah, and then often the psychological stuff can follow that as well. But I mean, ideally, Tara, you want to be menopause ready, don't you? If you haven't made sort of the adjustments to your lifestyle that you're talking now, you don't necessarily want to wait and sort of have to start a new regime just as you are starting to deal with the onset of menopause. Would your advice be to be aware, it's coming, and maybe even in advance of that? I'm not saying you get a specific date, right? But, to sort of say, right, this is where my life is probably going to be going in 2 years, 8 years, and maybe now's the time to sort of be getting to be getting myself in tip-top form.
100%. And I always say, like, I had a conversation with a 30-year-old this morning, and, I was saying to her, you have to start future-proofing yourself now. It doesn't matter whether you're in menopause or not, whether you're a male or a female, you have to start future-proofing yourself. And, osteoporosis, osteopenia, brittle bones, muscle deterioration, we have to protect ourselves. We have to start doing this in some sort of weights, start moving, eating more protein, having a more robust diet, looking after our body weight and our health, to protect ourselves, and it will be easier. I coach both cohorts of individuals, people who have and people who haven't, and the ones coming into the program who have been looking after themselves in their 20s and 30s and been fairly consistent, it definitely is much easier for them. But I think, as I say, whether you're a man or a woman, and I think, again, with women now, there's so much in the mass media around menopause and menopause issues, and I think it's important that we don't attribute everything to menopause, because we don't want to scare women either. It's not that bad. Yes, I know that, and we have things like HRT now, which are hugely beneficial for women going through the menopause.
Has the fear of HRT amongst some been dispelled now? Because,
yes.
And a lot of that work's only really happened in the last couple of years, people being, tough it out because this could happen to you if you take HRT and all that kind of stuff. There's better information out there now, I think, isn't there, Tara?
Yeah, and I think the healthcare practitioners and the GPs, they understand the science and they understand the data. And, you know, I think there was a scaremongering again around HRT. I know when I was young, my first impression of HRT was, you know, the headlines plastered across the tabloid media and the Sun going, HRT causes breast cancer. And that comes from a study from the Women's Health Initiative many years ago, where the preliminary findings of the study was leaked at a very early stage of the study, and it was misinformation, it was incorrect, and people jumped on it and they plastered it all over the newspapers. And this has stuck with a lot of women, and I know it certainly had stuck with me. And, you know, after doing the research and reading through the studies and now looking at all the evidence, you know, we now know that in fact that women can benefit from taking HRT in terms of their heart health. And the irony is that postmenopausal women are 7 times more likely to die from heart disease than they are to die from breast cancer. And taking HRT can help your heart health, you know, as a postmenopausal woman. So it has a lot of benefits as well, but I think GPs and practitioners now, they understand the person sitting in front of them and their own personal risk factors when it comes to HRT, and everybody's well informed, you know, but I know it's a huge leg up for a lot of women going through it.
Yeah, and I think it's important that I think often women think too much about people around them, and I think sometimes with your own health particularly, you have to be a bit selfless. That's the opposite of selfish, isn't it? A bit selfless, or even be a bit selfish. Sorry, you know, not try and put on a brave face. You know, if your body's telling you something, you go and get it looked at. That's your way. That's your body saying, right, here you go. That's what I'm concerned about. People putting stuff down to this, that, and the other. Or, you know, my kids are 18 now, and I don't want them worrying about me if they hear them going to the dog. I know everyone's different, right? But I just think there's an awful lot of people that are too blooming brave.
Yeah, you know, there's not much point being a martyr. It's not going to help you. You know, go and talk to your GP. I think now that women, because it's absolutely plastered everywhere you look, you know, it's menopause central. And groups of friends, I know certainly groups of my friends, we talk about it all the time. And, you know, if we're moaning about something, well, we can connect it to the menopause. And if it's not the menopause, one of us will say, well, it's actually probably not the menopause. But you know, don't sit in silence. Don't be a martyr. You know, there's not much point living your life in the shadows. As far as I'm concerned, as a woman who coaches women over 40 and 50, we're in the prime of our life. We don't sit the way we used to years ago and put up and shut up. There are ways out of this. Reach out for support. You know, I know, like I do lots of free webinars. If you go onto my website, there's free workshops there, and it's all to do with menopausal women. There's free resources on diet, nutrition, fitness. They can be downloaded, you know, they can be implementable straight away, and they're all evidence-based. I think it's important as well for women not to be sidetracked with supplements and charlatans and people out there selling their wares that'll have absolutely zero impact on helping them lose fat, deal with the vasomotor symptoms, and help their menopause symptoms.
And also, if you put anything in the search bar of Google and then follow it with the word menopause, and I mean anything, you will sort of be able to put it down to that. You know what I mean? That's just the bottom line. And unfortunately, that's how we get too much of our medical advice, because it's a leading question. It's a leading search. So, you know, see your GP. Tara, where can people go to get more information on the stuff that you're doing?
Well, they can visit me on my Instagram, Tara Grimes Fitness, or on Facebook. Come in and message me. I'm there every day. I'm dropping in and out of the DMs every day if they want to message me privately. They can contact me through my website, taragrimesfitness.com. And I also have a chat on my website that can come in and ask questions. But, you know, myself and my team, if you want to come in and book a chat with us, you know, completely in private, feel free to do that. Okay. You can do that through my website as well.
All right, Tara, thanks for the chat. Have a good day. Take care of yourself.
Not at all, Greg. Thank you for inviting me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Show your colours and support Donegal in the All-Ireland Final. O'Neill's official jerseys, polo shirts and T-shirts for all the family. Donegal quarter zips for kids. Save 20% just in time for the big day. Flags, hats and accessories will complete your look for Sunday. Exclusive to BMC Sports. Get 10% off your next purchase when you buy an O'Neill's Donegal jersey in-store or online. Check in-store for details. Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street, Letterkenny.
At Restex Beds, we are celebrating 50 incredible years in business. And we are introducing our brand new Glenveigh mattress, comfort that's as legendary as our half-century legacy. Experience 50 years of bedding excellence at Restex Beds, Mountaintop, Letterkenny. Restex Beds, leave the rest to us.
Looking for family fun this July? Discover Century Complex. Kids will love the soft play while teens try augmented reality darts and crazy golf. Enjoy tasty food and the latest blockbusters. Rain or shine, Century Complex is the ultimate destination for all ages. Unforgettable fun awaits. Don't miss out.
It's easy to feel trapped when you're dealing with mortgage arrears. The worry, sleepless nights, the impact on you and your family. But there is a way out.
Welcome. Come on in.
At Awalia, our door is always open. We're here to help and ready to listen. Get free, confidential support and practical advice to help you take control of the situation by visiting mabs.ie/Awalia. That's mabs.ie/Awalia, an initiative of the Government of Ireland.
For the biggest names in perfumes and aftershaves, visit McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. Dior, Armani and Hugo Boss. Victor and Rolf, Marc Jacobs and Lancôme. Also Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Prada and many more. From timeless classics to celebrity favourites, there's a perfume or aftershave for everyone at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny and online at mcgees.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So, today, a dry day for most with just isolated showers. There'll be a fair amount of cloud around, though some brighter sunny spells will develop at times too. Pretty much everything in there, isn't there? Highs of 15 to 19 degrees with a light to moderate west to northwest breeze. We're getting some brilliant stories, some brilliant memories relating to football, GAA football, of course, be it 1992, 2012, anything in between, hopefully 2025. We've a brilliant carousel of pictures as well. Where are they? There they are. We've a brilliant carousel of pictures as well of particularly its young ones. The first thing you do with a toddler, stick them in the Sam Maguire as soon as you get any. As soon as you get anywhere near it. We've got some great pictures. I keep forgetting to trigger them when the ad breaks are on, but I will do so for the rest of the day. We've got a bit of music from last night's great Road to Croker show at the Clanree, and we'll be chatting to some people who will be making it back for Sunday. They've got maybe nice rolls. Not nice rolls, that sounds like you're talking about food, but something to do as part of the big day, and we'll... some people are making arrangements as to how they'll watch the match on Sunday because they're just not home. But you're with us in our hearts. Don't worry about that. So any more stuff like that, just let us know. 086 60 25,000. Share the vibes across the Northwest. And also to our fantastic families, our fantastic Highland Radio family living around the world. Some refer to them as diaspora. I think I never really got on with that word, to be honest with you, but there you go. I'll do a couple of comments because we've lots coming up in the next hour, but there's going to be a lot of football stuff in there. I started going into menopause about 10 years ago, says a listener. At the time, I had absolutely no idea and had never heard of perimenopause. I already have several health issues, including underactive thyroid, PCOS and depression, and I'm on medication for that. When I started having the typical menopause symptoms, you know, your hot flushes and etc., I went to my GP and surprisingly she, yes, a female doctor, was very anti-HRT and did her best to dissuade me to go on it. I did go to another GP and he was much more open to listening to me and advising me of the pros and cons of HRT, but ultimately he made me feel like it was my choice and decision to make. If I had listened to the first GP, I wouldn't have gone on HRT, which has been a huge help, albeit it took some time and tweaking. There's still lots of doctors that need to be updated on their understanding of choices out there. And I think even though you're talking about 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I think even in the last 2 or 3 years, there's been great advances in that regard. I'm not saying you will not find a naysaying GP, but it is interesting that it was a female GP. I wonder, did she advise you to sort of maybe get on a more holistic approach? I'd be interested to find out. Do the Garda authorities have any idea how ridiculous it sounds to be asking people with information about a crime at Donegal Church to pass the info to Garda at Ballyshannon? God, be the days when you spoke to a local guard in Castlefin or Letterkenny. No one's going to ring Ballyshannon. Well, I understand exactly where you're coming from, but, you know, if you can ring them, if you've got info, I think you should. But I understand. And listen, I know a lot of the Gardaí on the ground and those that represent Gardaí, the GRA, etc., would be very much in agreement with you.
Highland Bakery brings the magic to your morning tea break. Golden scones, still warm, soft in the middle and impossible to resist. Look for the packet with the rabbit on it. Fresh from the oven to your local shop. 25 years of Highland Bakery.
This summer, whether you're chasing fashion, food or fun, Letterkenny has it all. From big high street names to great local ones. From cosy cafes to buzzing bars, Letterkenny is the place to be. Brought to you by Shop LK in association with Letterkenny Chamber of Commerce.
Patterson's massive clearance event is now on at the Hall Lifford. For 1 week only, get unbeatable deals on kitchens, dining sets, beds, mattresses and furniture, all massively reduced to clear. Don't miss your chance to save big at the massive clearance event this week only at Patterson's the Hall Lifford.
This summer, whatever adventures you're planning, you can make them cleaner and greener with Certa HVO fuel. Right now, Certa is price matching HVO to diesel, so making the move to cleaner motoring is easy. Plus, every time you fill up with HVO at a Certa forecourt or depot, you could win great weekly prizes. And you may also be in with a chance to win a luxury family break at Fota Island Resort. So fuel up for cleaner, greener summer adventures with Certa HVO. For details and T's and C's, visit certaireland.ie/summer.
Plan something new at the start of the year? Well, who hasn't? Now's your second chance with the 252 registrations at iMotors. Take the wheel of the iconic Qashqai, the bold X-Trail, the sporty Juke, or go electric with the stunning Nissan Ariya. They're here and they're waiting for you. Visit imotors.ie today.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Since I switched to Hidden Hearing, I can hear it all. You could save up to €3,000 off invisible hearing aids. Save when you switch to us, upgrade, or save on your very first hearing aids. Pre-phone 1-800-370-000. Switch and save at hiddenhearing.ie. You should go to the hearing experts. T's and C's apply.
Jimmer natá sibh Colin Fernifer and Shaw. Biggie Lynn ihe cédaine le hai agran a specialta de hod rúile búile nurabis. Amahori an chomórtas moya an chlahan leich. Bio lum sa studio. Ihe cédaine sharkaji a hot Biggie Lynn.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie. With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to noon show on Highland Radio.
It is 11 o'clock. Let's get that news update and cross over to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. A motorist has been left shaken following what Garda have described as a worrying incident in Cranford. At around 12:30am on Sunday, the driver and a passenger were travelling from Milford towards Kerry when they had to stop abruptly after hitting what they believed to be a person on the road. It was subsequently established that dark clothing had been stuffed with bags covered in ketchup and placed on the road. Gardaí have confirmed that they are following a definite line of inquiry. Garda Claire Rafferty says they are particularly interested in speaking to anyone who observed 3 young men in a parked car nearby. €40 billion will be invested in housing and water services over the next decade. The government is announcing the details of the National Development Plan today, setting out the spending for infrastructure up to 2035. The money, made up of the Apple tax, sale of AIB shares and other state funds, will also be put towards areas like public transport and electricity services. Investigations are continuing after 2 religious buildings were broken into in recent days in Donegal. On Wednesday, 2 teenagers entered the Franciscan Friary in Rossnowla and attempted to force open a donations box. The following day, the sacristy of St Mary's Church Petticoat was ransacked. Gardaí are urging anyone with information relating to either incident to come forward. Over €16 million has been approved for group water schemes in Donegal to improve services not managed by Uisce Éireann. The multi-annual rural water programme has given funding to 25 rural water projects in the county. A man has been arrested on suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life following a house fire in the Brandywell area of Derry last night. The blaze broke out at Bluebell Hill Gardens at around 11 p.m. The 38-year-old man remains in custody at this time. Efforts are underway to bring the World Sheep Shearing Championships to Donegal in 2029. Donegal County Council has agreed to support Clonmany Agricultural Show organisers in their bid to host the event, which would see up to 10,000 people attend each day. The local authority has also urged Vulture Ireland to lend its support to the bid, given the huge potential it has to showcase Donegal right across the world. And the recipients of the Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Awards 2025 have been announced. Vincent Keaveney, Danny Hutton, Eileen Mulligan and Sean Donaghy will be honoured at the awards ceremony on Friday the 17th of October at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel Buncrana. The event commemorates the legacy of Tip O'Neill, former Speaker of the US House of Representatives, whose maternal grandparents hailed from Donegal. Those are the latest headlines. We'll be back with an update again at 12 noon.
Michaela, thanks so much.
An ollie tú penta, Gerald?
Mush óla. Be man an cool vel hoigal bháile.
Tá Seán héis Gerald eáil agus é Geraldú penta. Tis aige go le geiste go chara tomáint faoi chiúnach ar an áil. Cheartó rud cinnta rá, nó é scuile haris, ar ríist.
Sláinte cheáin.
Oh, se. Sláinte áhach.
Marín tomáint faoi chiúnach ar an áil daine. Ná ligda de cháirde tomáinte go siad faoi chiúnach ar an áil. Teachtarach don údarás umhaváilteach ar bmhóire. Tuair cuairt ar rsa.ie.
Now, you're very welcome back. We're into the last hour of this Tuesday's 9 till noon show. I do hope you're very well indeed. Now, last night we had a great show in the Clanry Hotel in Letterkenny. Micheál and the team down there, always great hosts, of course. And it was Highland Radio's Road to Croker in association with Highland Motors, who were supporting the GEA Team Training Fund. That's what we were doing, and the Northwest Special Olympics. It was live, as I say, from the Clanry Hotel in Letterkenny. Over 500 of you joined us to chat about football. Oisín Kelly was there, Brendan Devaney was there, Anthony Malloy, Martin McHugh, Tony Boyle, Ryan Bradley, Frank McGlynn, Ronan McNamee was in there as well for a bit of an outside perspective on things. And if you missed the show, don't worry about it, because we recorded it and it's available for you as a podcast in our on-demand section. There was always great music. There was also great music, should I say? Sorry for stumbling. From our own David James, of course, David Craig, and I'll let Oisín Kelly introduce the other singer.
Are we up for a good old Donegal song, are we, eh? Give a big round of applause. Time to sing his new single. It's only out this week, especially for the All-Ireland final. Getting behind Donegal. It's called Up Donegal, and it's Mr. Darn Bit.
2-2-2, check 1, 2. How's all doing, folks? It's class to be here. These things are always better crack when you sing along, so don't be shy and help us out here. Shouting up Donegal, we're marching on, we're heading for Croker. In full song, singing Jimmy's winning matches and the hills of Donegal. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. G stands for green and gold, as hardy as they come. We won't back down, we'll stick our outs until the battle's won. There are no trains to Donegal, but we're fueled by desire. We'll save us seats on the bus to take home Sam Maguire. Yo! Shouting, up Donegal, we're marching on. We're heading for Croker. In full song, singing Jimmy's winning matches and the hills of Donegal. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. We conquered all of Ulster, put Mayo to bed. Left Monaghan rattled, shaking their heads. Now Murphy's back, he knows the crack, he's been here before. Our team of 15 heroes, and we're hungry for more. Yep. Shouting, up Donegal, we're marching on. We're heading for Croker. In full song, singing Jimmy's winning matches and the hills of Donegal. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. We're proud of where we come from, the jewel in Ireland's crown. We'll sing it loud, we'll sing it proud in every single town. The green and gold army with McGuinness at the helm will stand as one together strong to take Sam home again. Shout it up Donegal, we're marching on, we're heading for Croker. In full song, singing Jimmy's winning matches and the hills of Donegal. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. Shouting up Donegal, we're marching on. We're heading for Croker. In full song, singing Jimmy's winning matches and the hills of Donegal. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. The memories of 92 and 12 linger on. Up Donegal!
Up Donegal! Yes, indeed. It was a brilliant night, and you can listen back to it in its entirety on our website right now. Let's go to, and I'm going to say this without getting sick in my mouth, Tenerife. Shane Devlin is there. Hi, Shane. How are you getting on, buddy?
Hello, Greg. Hello, Donegal.
All right, give us a weather update.
Well, here at the minute, just before you rang, the clouds are passing over a little bit, but it's about 22 degrees, so
That'll do. That'll do. And you're there resplendent in your Donegal top. Originally from Carndonagh, Shane, you've been over in Tenerife for the last 2 years now. What's life like for you?
Yes. Life is great at the moment, yeah. So I'm working in a British school here, so I'm going to give a shout out to all my colleagues, and they are the guys that we're going to do the watch party with. Most of them have no idea what Gaelic football is, but they've had to listen to me all the year, every Monday morning, giving an update on the football championship. So they're going to come to the south with me on Sunday. About 8 of us, we're going to head down and hopefully see Donegal with Sam again.
As someone who lives there, I think the tourism offering is mostly, but not exclusively, in the south of Tenerife. How different is day-to-day life in North Tenerife, where you live, Shane?
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, there's not much tourism here, and any of the tourism that is here is basically geared towards maybe locals or the Canarians themselves, which I like. I mean, I've barely been to the south, to be honest with you. It's something that doesn't really attract me. But I've spent this year watching all the championship matches on at home, and just for the final, I want atmosphere. So if there's anybody from Donegal in Tenerife on Sunday, let's meet up. Let's watch it.
Do we know where we're going or where you're going yet? Have we got a venue?
Yes, I think so. I think so. From rumours that I've heard, there is a pub in the south with Donegal connections. I think it's called the Hole in the Wall. I did see a video actually of Orwee Daniel singing there a couple of months ago. So perhaps those rumours are true, but
hopefully
that's where we're going to go.
Hopefully the videos of me in there don't emerge.
I'll be asking for them now.
I'm only joking. I'm joking. I'm a good boy. But no, I've been in there. It's a cracking pub, and you get HB sauce in there. But it's got good, strong Donegal connections. You know, when you're living away and you live in the life, but the thing is, you know, you're a 4-hour flight hop if you want to come home. But when it comes to weekends like this, do you find the heartstrings being pulled a little bit, or maybe you can just fly the flag for Donegal out there and that's enough for you?
No, absolutely. Like, I mean, most years I'd be home every summer, and I would have been like everybody else. I'd be in the queue. I know my mates there. I want to give a shout out to all the wild geese all over the world. They're all my boys from Cairn. They're waiting hard now on their ticket allocations. And I know I'd be in the queue with them, but this year it didn't work out. But hopefully next year I'll be back. As you say, it is difficult. Like, at times I guess I'd love to be around all the excitement in Cairn, especially with Conor being in the panel and doing so well at the minute. But yeah, I think I did shed a tear when they made the final. I'm quite an emotional guy, so there'll be tears on Sunday. no matter what. But I wish I was there. In 2012, we were in the stand. It was my 25th birthday. It was an unbelievable present to get. I was there with all my friends, and my dad was there as well. So it was a great moment to share. And I was thinking about it today. It was the first time Donegal have reached the final since my niece was born. She's 12. It'll be her first experience of all this excitement. So a little shout out to Alicia and all my family as well. Hello, I know they're watching in there. So, yeah, and my wife as well. Letty hasn't seen any of this excitement before. So she's all geared up. She's got her Donegal top ready, and she's coming down with us.
And why has she not seen any of the excitement before? Is she from Mayo?
No, she's from here.
I know that. I just thought you set me up.
That's a really poor dig.
No, but you pitched the ball. Obviously, I was going to knock it out of the park, Shane. Now, come here. I chatted to you before. Patata, you were in a band Patata. This is a couple of years ago. Is that still going, or what's the story?
You know what? I'm kind of doing my own thing over here at the minute. The last time I was chatting to you was in 2020, and it was 2 weeks before the global pandemic, and I talked about aspirations of an album, and I had 5 songs done. And to be honest with you, just things changed after that. I never got back in a real near it again. So, but I'm still playing. In fact, I'm playing Thursday night in La Laguna, which is where I live up here. So, if anybody's in La Laguna, I'm going to be in the Garden pub.
You know what I want is someone to walk in there, right, to La Laguna.
Yeah.
And say, I heard you on the 9 till noon show. That would just be amazing.
Well, you know what? My brother is actually due to come. He's landing here for a few days. He lives in Madrid, but he's coming here for a couple of days on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Wednesday evening. So he's going to be there. So maybe he's listening, and he might be the one. So we'll see if we can sing a Donegal song or two.
Yeah, right, lads. Don't walk to the Hole in the Wall pub. Run to the Hole in the Wall pub Sunday afternoon. Shane's bringing bewildered locals who haven't seen a GEA game, wondering what all this crack is about. Could you say hello to Shane from the SNAs in Cranach College? By the way, that's
brilliant, yes.
Right, okay. What else was I going to say to you? There's another question I want to ask you. It's not going to come to me now. So listen, have a wonderful Sunday, Shane. Enjoy the gigging. It must be great to sort of have the climate, have the job, have your lovely wife with you, and then be able to play a few songs in an evening in a place called La Laguna or whatever it's called. I mean, that's it. And if you want to come home, you can come home pretty handy too as well.
I'm going to be home in August, and I really hope that when I get back, the Donegal GA boys will be on tour with Sam, and I hope to God I can see Conor O'Donnell carry the Sam Maguire into the Diamond and Karen O'Donnell. That would just be amazing. He's been an absolute role model. He's been an inspiration to everybody in Karen, and nothing else to say. But up Donegal!
Good man. Listen, take care of you, Shane. Delighted to hear life's going so well. It sounds lovely and you deserve it. Take care. Up Donegal. Okay, that is Shane, who is listening to us, Shane Devlin, living in North Tenerife. So if you have any similar stories to tell, get in touch with us right now. 086 60 25,000. That's a WhatsApp or text number. And you can also, obviously, if you're outside the Republic, 0035386 60 25,000. But I think WhatsApp generally has the international dialing code because it's such a global enterprise. Right. Okay. This is tough. I don't know what to say to this man. Dermot, how are you? Are you all right?
Hey, Greg, how are things?
We have you stuck. We have you trapped here in Donegal. A Kerry man exiled to the county. Husband of Pauline from outside Buncrana. What is life like as a Kerry man in Donegal this week?
It's been very, very exciting this week, Greg. Build up to the game. Lots of good-natured rivalry, and just looking forward to the game now.
You are a Cahir Savine man, so obviously the GAA running through your very veins.
Yeah, from Cahir Savine, Greg, so probably as far away on the map of Ireland from Buncrana as you could find. GAA was always a big thing for us growing up. My own club at home there, we would have had the likes of Brian Sheehan, Maurice Fitzgerald and Jack O'Shea representing Kerry over the years. So always a big connection with the county team.
Yeah, and how long have you been living in Donegal now, Dermot?
I'm up here since 2019.
Right, 2019. So that's 6 years here. You're married to a Buncrana woman. you know, I mean, you're going to be wearing a Donegal jersey on Sunday. Obviously, I mean, at this point, you're a local now.
I wear a Donegal jersey up until the border, and then I swap them when I go over.
We need to have someone on the border checking people like you switching outfits. But do you know if you've got tickets yet?
I think we have tickets, Greg. I think we're one of the lucky ones. So again, I'll have to have the Kerry colours on display for the day that's in it.
And the good thing about our national sport is we can have that friendly rivalry, Dermot, isn't it? In that you could walk into a pub in a Kerry shirt in Donegal and you're going to get a poke, don't get me wrong, but the crack would be good, and that's it. We'll all stand amongst each other down at the game in Croker on Sunday, and I think that's another element of what's so great about our sport.
Yeah, no, that absolutely is. That's a big thing. And look, I'll definitely be having the Kerry top on between now and Sunday as well. So
yeah.
But it's all part of the fun, look, and it's all a bit of crack just building up to it, and even in Dublin on Sunday morning on the journey down, stop offs or even when you start moving into Drumcondra, that's when it'll really kick off. But it's all good natured, it's all good, and yeah, definitely, it's one of these kind of pieces that the GA has a kind of unique kind of insight on.
And I have a feeling when you start bumping into the Kerry ones around Croker on Sunday, Dermot, we might see that Kerry accent getting a little bit stronger. I can't help but feel you're sort of watering it down for us here in Donegal a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of neutraled out over the years, Greg, but,
it's still there, but I think it'll be getting stronger on Sunday. And come here, I mean, we can't be objective. How do you think the game's going to go? Are you, as a Kerryman, optimistic, or do you think there's just such a strong win behind Jim McGuinness and the boys? How do you think the game's going to go?
So I think it's a very close one to call, Greg. I think you're probably looking at the two best teams in the country going head to head, which that's exactly where you want the All-Ireland final to be. I think Jim will probably have a special plan up his sleeve there for David Clifford and the likes, but I think it's going to be very close. And look, I wouldn't be surprised to see the game go to extra time. And it's all going to come down to on the day. Like you have David Clifford, who's an absolute star. In the prime of his powers at the moment, but then you look on the other side, and Jim managed to get Michael Murphy back for a year to inspire the team. So I think it's a very hard one to call.
Yeah, and I think obviously when you're planning out how you're going to play a game like this, you want to neutralise the opposition's best players, and I get that, but I do hope we see the best from both teams on Sunday.
Oh, I think that would be brilliant if that does happen. I think if you see the best of both teams, then I'd be looking through my tinted Kerry glasses and say Kerry could probably come out on top. But again, it's very hard for that to happen. You saw Kerry absolutely blow Armagh out of the water with 15 minutes of brilliance.
Yep.
But that was to say it was a bit of a freak. I don't think you'll get that kind of period of dominance again. So yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of things that take into account, and yeah, I think it'll just be very close, very hard to call.
All right, well, hopefully it's not too quiet in the car on the way back up the road, one way or other. Love to Pauline, who will hopefully have her Donegal jersey on, standing beside Dermot, who is exiled here in Donegal, but happily, I presume, with his Kerry jersey on. Enjoy the game, Dermot. Thanks for being a good sport and having a chat with us.
Likewise, thanks.
Take care of yourself. All right, good luck. Now, a very special young person is Abby. Abby Clark. She's actually a first cousin of Shelbourne's Mark Coyle, but we're not talking soccer, we're talking football. And Abby's with me. I'll speak to Abby's mum, Tracy, first. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And you've got one of these things whereby you've got a lovely couple of weeks, some nice things happening, because you're on holidays at the moment, aren't you?
We are, yeah. Abby's cousin, Connor Harkin, is getting married to Sarah Kelly in
lovely.
Portugal. So we're here at the minute, and the wedding's on Thursday. So there's exciting times, Greg.
And what a sporting family. I mentioned Mark Coyle from Shelbourne. You just mentioned Connor. He played minor for Donegal a few years back. Your dad, JP Clark, he played for St. Eunan's in goal. He won county medals, county championships in the past. And Abby, are you on speaker? Can Abby hear me now?
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah,
Abby plays now for St. Eunan's, continuing JP's legacy, and also soccer with Donegal, because a lot of our young people now are multi-talented. Abby, how are you keeping? How's the wedding? How's the holidays?
Good.
Right, now, you have a very, very important and exciting role on Sunday. Talk to me about what you're going to be doing on Sunday.
I'm going to be flag bearer on Sunday.
And how did you manage to get that important job, Abby?
My uncle works in AIB and I was a staff jar and he put my name in.
And then he put your name in a competition, and then you were lucky to have your name drawn out, and you're going to be on the pitch flying the flag, representing Donegal. I mean, that's just a memory that's going to last forever, Abby.
Yeah.
Have you been able to get excited for it yet, or are you thinking too much about being in lovely sunny Portugal and all the fun of the wedding?
It hasn't really kicked in.
Yeah, and Mum, Tracy, it's going to be busy because you're...
Yeah.
We just hope there's no delayed flights. You're back at Dublin Airport Sunday morning, just hours before the match, and then straight to Croker Park. It's a lovely thing, isn't it? What a lovely thing for a family.
It's brilliant. It's great excitement. Greg, we go to all the matches, and Abby's been to all the matches, and she's very into watching Donegal football anyway. So the fact that we really didn't think we were going to get to the All Ireland because of being on holidays and the timing of our flights. So then whenever my brother Ronan works in AIB, so it was a competition in the a staff competition to nominate a child to be the AIB flag bearer. So that's how it ended up. That's how Abby ended up with the job, and I got a ticket being her guardian also.
That's what I was going to say. Is there a bit of gravy for Mum in this? Listen, it's wonderful stuff.
There is.
Abby, who's your favourite men's player? Who will you be looking forward to see most on Sunday? Having been to games in the past, who do you think will is the star for us on Sunday?
Oisin Gallen.
Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he? And who's your favourite ladies player, Abby? Do you follow the Donegal ladies as well?
Yes, Shauna McFadden.
Oh, right. Another cracking player. Well, Abby, listen, enjoy the rest of your break. Thanks so much. We'll be keeping an eye out for you on Sunday. Give us a wave, all right?
Okay.
Okay, good girl. And such excitement for you all, Tracy. Has the wedding happened yet?
Yeah. It's happening on Thursday. Abby's actually saying a prayer of the faithful also at the wedding, so we're practicing for that now, and we have been celebrating since we arrived. So yeah, we'll get to Thursday and enjoy the wedding with Connor and Sarah.
And what's the weather like?
It's beautiful. Yeah,
okay.
It's really lovely. Sunny skies, blue skies, and nice heat. So,
well, listen, enjoy it, Tracy. Abby, thanks for being a good sport and chatting to us. You'll smash it out of the park reading. Funny, I'm not sure if Abby's interested in this or not. Like, I do this speaking every day, yet I had to do a reading. I had to do a reading at a wedding recently, and I would get 5 times as nervous for that as I would actually coming in to speak on the radio. But anyway, listen, I know Abby doesn't have nerves, and she's going to be brilliant. Okay, love to all. Thanks, Abby.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Tracy. Enjoy the rest of your
Greg.
holiday, and our love to the couple as well who are getting married. We've another infiltrator. It's Trisha. She's in Rathmullen. She's infiltrated the county with a Kerry flag. Her Kerry flag flying high in Rathmullen. Good stuff, Trisha. I'll keep an eye out for that. Right, I'm going to talk to Grace after a quick break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Looking for a night of unforgettable entertainment? Come experience the magic at Greenan Theatre. From dazzling musicals and gripping dramas to hilarious comedy, there's something for everyone. Book your tickets now at angrenan.com and follow us on socials at Angrenan Theatre. And let the show begin.
Get more fresh berry favourites for less with Lidl. Ripe for the picnic? Our juicy raspberries and blackberries are bursting with flavour, perfect whatever the weather. And for the sweet taste of summer, succulent strawberries 250 gram was $2.79, now only $1.79 with Lidl Plus. Save even more when you go full Lidl this summer.
Are you decorating your home or maybe designing a workspace? At Foy's, we've got everything you need. As the largest paint and wallpaper stockist in the Northwest, we supply trusted names like Farrow and Ball, Dulux, Fleetwood, Little Green and Colour Trend. So from residential to commercial, we'll help you get the job done right. Visit Foy's in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet, where our qualified interior designers and paint colour consultants are ready to help.
Best of luck to Donegal on Sunday from the Sunny Centre, Letterkenny. Can't make it to the game? Experience the next best thing and catch every moment in stunning detail with a Sunny Bravia 4K TV. Shop the best deals in store or online at sunnycentre.ie.
If you're in Dublin for All-Ireland final weekend, Highland Radio's Road to Croker continues on Saturday evening as we gear up for the match, live from the D2 at the Harcourt Hotel on Harcourt Street. Join the Highland team from 8 p.m, setting the scene in the capital and getting the thoughts of the fans ahead of Donegal's clash with Kerry. Plus, there'll be a few giveaways too. Build up to the All-Ireland final with Highland Radio at Donegal's Home Away from Home, the D2 at the Harcourt Hotel. Highland Radio's Road to Croker is in association with Highland Motors Letterkenny. Turn heads with the return of the all-new Renault 5, the European Car of the Year with 410km range. Available from only €225 per month.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
It is now 28 minutes past 11. If you're watching the show, you'll see a wonderful carousel of mostly young people sitting in the Sam Maguire Cup. They're coming in all the while, by the way. I won't get to show them all, but we'll certainly be able to stick them up on our socials. It's wonderful. Ronan Foley, woohoo, Abby. Can't wait for Sunday. Donna McGee also says, good look, Abby. And thanks to Siobhan and others saying hello as well. It's great to have you watching the show. Right, Grace McGonigal, who's playing at half-time for Donegal versus Kerry game on Sunday at the All-Ireland. And Grace's dad, Edward, is there as well. Hi, Grace.
Hi.
How are you getting on?
Hello. Good.
Good stuff, Edward. Good to have you with us as well. Right, Grace, you're 12, you're from Redcastle, and you've known for quite some time that you were playing in the All-Ireland, in Croke Park on Sunday. But you wouldn't have known Donegal. You might have hoped Donegal were playing. So this is an extra Brucey bonus for you, Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big bonus, yeah.
So how do you go about either Grace, or you can jump in, Edward? It's up to you two, but it'd be nice to hear from Grace, but it's up to Grace. Might be too shy to speak to me. How did you go about getting this slot to play at half-time, Grace?
So the school has to nominate a boy and a girl to do trials, and you go to the one in Cairn first, and if you make it through that one, you go to Convoy, and then you get picked for the Ulster final, the semi-final, or the final.
Mm-hmm. So the boy played at the Ulster match, so you got the All-Ireland final.
Yeah.
And what is the actual game? What's the actual game you're playing in, Grace?
A 7-a-side match, mini.
And have you ever played in Croke
7-a-side
Park?
mini match at half-time.
Yeah, oh brilliant! And have you ever played at Croke Park before, Grace?
No.
Wow, what an amazing experience! How proud are you, Edward? It's fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it'd be a brilliant experience. They get to go down. As well as playing, they get to go down early. They all meet up and they get changed in the changing rooms beforehand, and they all sit together and all. So it'll be a great experience for photographs and all that.
Yeah, and to get to use Croke Park changing rooms, dressing rooms.
Yeah, it'll be a brilliant experience. Yeah,
and to get out onto the pitch, it's really such a special thing.
Yeah.
And Grace, how
It was
long have you
amazing, so.
been? How long have you been playing football, Grace?
When I started primary school.
Wow, brilliant. And would you hope to go on and play for the ladies, or is it just something you're enjoying at the moment?
Yeah, I would.
All right, brilliant stuff. Well, Grace, you'll do really well. I've no doubt about that. What a wonderful, wonderful experience to have for the rest of your life, to say you played in Croker Park in a competitive match at the age of 12 and used all the changing rooms, and you're going to have amazing photos and brilliant access. Grace, do we know how jealous your friends are?
I don't know.
Well, I would say very, but they'll all be cheering you on. And have you got your tickets, Edward? Hopefully you get your tickets with Grace being a player as well.
Yeah, we were a family of 5. We got some with Grace, and then we had to get another 2. So
Brilliant.
we have them secured, thank God.
Happy days. Well, listen,
Thankfully.
enjoy it. Are you
Thankfully.
staying over or driving up and down?
No, we're going down on Saturday and staying Saturday night, then back up on Sunday night.
So we might see you in the hardcore yet, or in the Bonington. Who's to say? All right then, guys.
You never
know exactly where you might bump into us. All right, take care, Edward. Grace, best of luck.
All
We'll
right,
be watching
thank you.
on, looking at you. For all of us there, 70-odd thousand watching you. So best of luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good stuff. What a wonderful achievement. Shannon, how are you getting on, Shannon?
Not too bad, Greg. How are you?
Or should I call you Hop Along?
Don't worry, you wouldn't be the first to
I
call
would
me
say
that.
so, yeah. Shannon, I've heard your story before. You're from Castlefin, but unfortunately, I don't want to make light of it because breaking a leg is no fun at all. But tell us how you happened to get this injury.
Yeah, well, I actually broke my foot. I broke it in 2 places. I was at the quarter-final there, the Monaghan match
Yeah.
up in Croker Park. And as everyone probably knows, it wasn't going too well for us at half-time, so the nerves were starting to set in. But when we went back in the second half, I was just trying to get myself comfortable. I kind of put my 2 feet, to like the back of the chair that was in front of me. It was empty. And there's like a wee step there. And then Michael Langan kind of ripped through the pitch. Wasn't expecting it. We were at the Davin end, and everybody jumped up to see the goal going in. But of course, when I jumped up, I broke my foot. So I kind of felt the pain straight away. I went down just as quick as I went up.
Oh no, it must have been awful. And did you know straight away you'd done yourself a mischief?
It was very sore straight away. I kind of thought maybe I did sit to the end of the match. I kind of thought that maybe the pain would sort of go away a wee bit and I'd be fine towards the end of the Dublin Tyrone match that was on afterwards. So my friend Margaret was with me and she had given me an ibuprofen and I thought that would kind of tie me over. But by the end of full time in our match, it wasn't looking great. It was still really, really sore. So I went out to the first aid room in Croker Park and there was St. John's ambulance staff there. They were absolutely brilliant. And they got me up to Beaumont and seen then. Well, I ended up going to Letterkenny just with the queue in Beaumont, but no, it was all sorted.
Yeah, okay. And it was not, I mean, listen, it's a great story, but you also missed a fantastic holiday to Malta as well, which is a beautiful part of the world. You couldn't travel, no?
No, I had a few complications just in like the weeks after,
Okay.
and then I just got word there last Monday that I wasn't able to travel. So I was supposed to go on Saturday, and I had actually planned the holiday around the All Ireland from January. So I was actually going with a few girls from big hurling counties. I had a friend from Tip and a friend from Limerick, and they didn't care too much about the All Ireland at the time, but I was not for missing this. I had a good feeling we'd be there in July. So
Well, it's a good job none of the
at
girls
least-
were from Cork because they could probably not turn up for a return flight.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a
one of the
joke.
girls is
It's a
from
joke.
Kerry, so she got to go, and I
Okay.
told her she's only getting to go so she can get a wee bit of happiness before the weekend.
You're right too. So it's been a bit of a pain, hasn't it? And a few complications up and down from hospital. But you're on the road to recovery now. You're on the boot now. Is it boot and crutches or just the boot, Shannon?
I dropped the crutches there this week, so
Good
I'm
stuff.
just on the boot now at the minute, which is great because the crutches are kind of holding me back a wee bit.
Yeah. And what's the plan for Sunday?
Still on the lookout for tickets. Of nothing secured just yet, but hopefully now we'll get there and we'll get a few tickets sorted. So
people are finding out
hopefully.
Really late, even the clubs and full paid up members. They're being told it might be Thursday or Friday before they're told. It's terribly late.
Yeah, that's what I know. I know myself from the other years. It's going to be a bit of like a last minute panic, but
yeah.
hopefully something will come out and we'll get there.
Well, I think if there's anything that encapsulates that brilliant breakthrough and that goal from Michael Langan, that really without the likes of those injections, we probably wouldn't have been looking forward to Sunday. I mean, you gave it all for the county. You gave your foot in two places. How else could one show their passion?
I don't think there's a better way, to be honest.
Well, listen, I'm glad you can sort of see the upbeat side of it, especially missing the holidays and stuff. But there'll be more to come, and we've got Sunday to look forward to. You bloody knew in January. You were planning holidays around
I had
it.
a feeling. Yeah. I had a feeling. I was confident from January onwards.
Well, fingers crossed you get your ticket and you get down there, Shannon. You deserve it. And we really appreciate the chat. And as I say, I know it's a bummer as well too, but it's great that you can sort of see the positive side of it, in that it shows that you arguably, for that game anyway, you were the most dedicated fan.
Definitely, I'd say so.
All right, take care of yourself. Thank you so very much indeed, Greg. Shannon. Shannon from Castlefin, really hope she gets a ticket. We've been inundated with Sam photos, as you can imagine. Well, I didn't imagine, actually. I say as you can imagine, but I just didn't imagine we'd get as many. We have so many. We're going to roll it over until tomorrow. So if you haven't seen yours today, don't worry. It'll be shown tomorrow. We've been showing them during the outbreaks and during the chats here on the live stream, but we'll also stick them up on our socials. There are some brilliant pictures. And again, the both before and afters, you can see some right little posers back in 92, and you wonder, are they still posing in 2025? But it's the joy of it. It's the joy. And the first thing you do, you plop the baby in. How many babies have been in that trophy? And there's some not so wee ones as well. A caller says, my son was a mascot for the Donegal team in 1992. 8 years old from Mount Charles, Joseph O'Donnell. Then he got married in 2012. One day before the All-Ireland, he's married to a Mayo woman. Okay, I wonder, is there, you know the way life can throw up things, I wonder, is there anything, you know, exciting going to happen for him around 2025? Because he's got the mascot 92, he's got the marriage 2012. What does 25 hold for Joseph O'Donnell? Joseph, hope you're listening. Hope you have a great day. Let me see. I just want to stay on that vein here. Hi, Greg. I'll be watching the game in the Heritage on McLean Avenue, Yonkers in New York. Donegal Laboo. Very good. I don't know your name because you didn't give it to us, but you'll enjoy it. There's plenty of buntings in Keys petrol station in Lahey. Yeah, indeed. We tracked down a lot of bunting. There's bunting available in Strabane. Someone messaged me as well. We were also asking for some of your favourite Donegal songs. I'll be carrying that over to the weekend because we are broadcasting live from Hardcourt Sunday night down in Dublin. It is that's I want to make sure I get that information correct. It's not written down anywhere, is it? No. I know I'm in the Bonington on Sunday morning. I'll just double check what's happening Saturday night so I don't mislead anyone and face the wrath of Oisin Kelly. Sadie Breslin will be listening from Whitby, Ontario, Canada. She's just left in the show and will be cheering for Donegal, going all the way. That's from an Irish Canadian. Sadie, have a wonderful time out in Canada if you've just headed over there. You've left beautiful in the show for, I'm told, for the most part, a most beautiful country that is Canada. Love the 9 till noon show, says Patrick Boner. Thanks, Patrick. I really appreciate that. A great chat with that man whose father sold all sorts. Listen to it every day from my office in Dublin city centre. Patrick, great to have you dipping in with us. Right, okay. Hi, my wife and I have 2 kids. I'll come back to that because I don't want to jump from the very, very serious to the fun stuff, if you know what I mean. Right, now we'll be back with more on the 9 till noon show after the break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Má tá tú idir 5 agus 7 bliain díos, joí tú cuireadh scág hástáil potóige báilí an HSE siar an aisce íonna. Cabhraíonn an scág hástáil le cóirí luadáil se potóige aimsiú, solamíonn 1 symptom le feiceáil agus bíonn sin níos fosa í a chóireáil chomhár.
New this week in Home Store and More. All school bags are all half price, but better hurry because when all our half price school bags are gone, they're gone. Also, all 100% cotton children's duvet sets are still all 33% off, and all metal kitchen bins are still all half price. But when all the 33% off 100% cotton children's duvet sets and all the half price metal kitchen bins are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Show your colours and support Donegal in the All-Ireland Final. O'Neill's official jerseys, polo shirts and T-shirts for all the family. Donegal quarter zips for kids. Save 20% just in time for the big day. Flags, hats and accessories will complete your look for Sunday. Exclusive to BMC Sports. Get 10% off your next purchase when you buy an O'Neill's Donegal jersey in-store or online. Check in-store for details. Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street, Letterkenny.
McCullough Jewellers in Letterkenny are synonymous with fine jewellery, quality watches and giftware. With stores at Main Street, Letterkenny and the Letterkenny Shopping Centre or online at ormccullough.com. You can choose from their quality product range in a relaxed atmosphere, and their sales staff will be happy to help you make the right choice whatever the occasion. McCullough Jewellers, making moments magical for generations.
Unmissable deals at Evolve Clothing. Tommy Hilfiger jeans only €50. Chinos and jeans from just €10. Summer sale is on now at Letterkenny Retail Park or shop online at evolveclothing.com. Stocks won't last.
Nájé mail nar oin tú de chuire chun scág hástal potuige íana. Glíorín a hochtég a nád a cara cuig, a cara cuig a cuig a cuig. No túr cuairt bowlscreen.ie. Own HSE.
Right, if you've been on social media at all, you'd have heard this guy.
What? You know what I noticed? What? You haven't said nothing about the Gaelic Football Championship.
Donegal gonna beat Kerry.
Huh?
Donegal is gonna beat Kerry.
What do you mean Donegal is gonna beat?
Donegal is gonna beat Kerry. The kingdom is going down. It's over. It's a wrap. The kingdom ain't winning. Kerry, the kingdom, ain't winning. The Gaelic Football Championship, Donegal gonna win.
Wait,
okay? Sam, no, you be quiet.
Well, we're hoping to be joined by that gentleman very, very shortly, and we're going to try and find out from him why he is so confident that Donegal is going to beat the kingdom. We're waiting for him to log in, and then we'll have a chat, so stay tuned for that. Hi Greg, my wife and I have 2 kids. We'd love to have more, but financially it's just simply not possible. We're trying to build a house, no eating out or holidays, living a basic life. It's just not financially possible to have more children. And again, it's it is just not to cast any shade at anyone. It's to sort of have the conversation. There's lots of different reasons. I think the state should be doing more to encourage and support people to, have more kids if that's what we should be doing. For women, continuing to take the contraceptive pill can be problematic in your 40s, approaching perimenopause and menopause. This move would simply give a couple more choice in terms of family planning. It's important that men see themselves as equally responsible for contraception. I wouldn't worry about lowering birth rate by this move alone. Lots of families would perhaps have bigger families if we had affordable housing and childcare. And just to be clear, I'm not actually suggesting that would be the trigger for lowering birth rates. I'm just saying, if you look at everything, if you look around at all the different measures, is that the direction we're going in? I heard an idea about modern entertainment being too good, that some people feel they're fulfilled without children. So the 9 till noon show entertainment is partly to blame. Okay, maybe it's Netflix or Corus. I'm not sure it's us. And anyway, do people be practicing or whilst listening to this show? I don't know. I didn't have actually think about it before. Right. Thanks for that. Now, we were talking to Ewan yesterday, who was approaching his 70th birthday. He's an excellent bus driver from Inishowen, and he drives a school bus that would be tendered out by Bus Éireann. Now, if he were taking the kids on a school trip, a private school trip, they can pile onto his bus and he can take them anyway, no issue. But because he drives for Bus Éireann, effectively, he is not allowed to drive after 70. Bus Éireann got in touch with us to say that Bus Éireann operates the school transport scheme on behalf of the Department of Education and Youth. Safety is a core value for Bus Éireann. The purpose of the scheme is to provide transport. Well, we know what they do, and they do great work. The retirement age for school bus drivers has been set by Bus Éireann at 70 years of age, which also applies to road passenger services. Our decision to operate the scheme with drivers up to the age of 70 is grounded in the best safety interests of our customers, including young children, our drivers and other road users. Our operating experience, together with our ongoing consultation with stakeholders, including the Road Safety Authority and other public transport operations in relation to safety, first is that our current policy balances the overreaching need for safety with the risk and the operational needs of the service provided. In acting in the best interests of the safe operation of the school transport scheme, we've also reviewed a number of external studies which show how risk of collision is increased for drivers of large vehicles over the age of 70. I'm really surprised they doubled down on it like this, that it's about a safety issue. All right, okay, that's that. Effectively, they're saying it's following guidance, it's following best safety practice and all that jazz. Any views on that? 086 60 25,000. We'd love to hear from you, or you can give us a call on 074 91 25,000. Donna Marie Doherty has been producing the show the last number of days, assisted ably by Shannon Wilkins as well, and they've been doing a cracking job. Caroline back with us tomorrow after her well-deserved break. And let me tell you, people throw out well-deserved, but she does. That is a well-deserved break. Please mention young hurler James Donnelly, St Mary's School Stranraer, and Sean McCool's, who played at half-time in the All-Ireland hurling final on Sunday last, where he stood out as the top player on the day. We've no doubt that James will be back in Croke Park. Listen, Donegal hurling, I think it's in a positive upward fashion, and I've no doubt that James Donnelly has the potential to be a star of the future. He starred in Croke Park on Sunday. I only heard about this now. Well done to you, and thanks so much for passing that on. The last time I watched Donegal win, Sam, was in 92. I was in London in 2012 and couldn't watch it then. We're flying home on Saturday for the crack on Sunday. Up Donegal, looking forward to seeing everyone, and looking forward to Sam coming up the road from Dublin. That comes in from David, Britta, Erin and Joe. Okay, brilliant stuff. Now, we are going to be joined now by, he's a viral dude. It's Josh Prey. He's a comedian from Florida. Josh, can you hear me all right? I can't hear you, Josh. I wonder, are you muted? Hello? No, I'll tell you, I'm going to kick you out and bring you back in again, Josh. That might just be a technical issue. Stay right where you are, or indeed come back into the meeting if you don't mind. Sometimes you set up an interview and everything is going right, but it's just not going to land for you. But anyway, we shall persist because we're using our sound card for lots and lots of different things. Josh, are you there? We're going old school. We're on the telephone line. Hi, Josh.
Not a problem. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
I am doing good, Josh. And listen, you know, there's not a person in the beautiful county of Donegal, or indeed the country, that hasn't seen your video at this stage. Talk to me about the background to the video, Josh.
So I've been very immersed in GAA culture since 2019 when I first came to the All-Ireland finals. And ever since then, I've been in love with the GAA. Over the years, I've made various videos. This year, seemingly, by the graces of God, my videos caught fire again, and I've been able to put my full support behind Donegal this year for the All-Ireland Finals.
What caught your eye about GAA? Because, you know, you've talked about the football, the hurling. The hurling's mad. I think anyone outside the country realises that. Camogie, 30 guys running around with sticks. Where would you get it? But, you know, what is it about the sport that sort of you've latched on to?
It's the speed of the game. The speed of the game is absolutely insane here in America. Our favorite sports are a little bit slower, even though our athletes are extremely athletic. In regards to Ireland, the speed of the game is insane. I love the fact that it's played by men and women equally, and they equally get the same support from the fans in the community. And it's the intensity and last but not least, it's that the athletes oftentimes play for absolutely free, so it's pride behind them playing the sport.
Yeah, it's passion, and it fits into your style, doesn't it? Because you're a very positive comedian for the most part, Josh.
Yes, sir. I try to be positive. I try to leave a positive influence on everybody I talk to, anybody I come in contact with, and I think your sport does the same. Even in losing, there's class and there's grace in not winning in the GAA, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you did come over here. Tourism Ireland latched onto you as well. GA reached out to you. You've worked with the Two Johnnies, a popular comedy double act here in this country. What was your experience of working with the Irish, coming to Ireland like? How was the welcome? How was your experience?
I am 50% Irish. Let's just get that out the way. I am forever 50% Irish now. They've taken me like one of their own. The Two Johnnies are absolutely amazing and hilarious. I love the support Ireland has behind the Two Johnny. I pray they continue to support them. And the fans were extremely welcoming. Some question my authenticity at sometimes, but me being in the know about GAA kind of settled that at some point.
Now, why did you go for Donegal over Kerry, Donegal over the Kingdom, Josh?
Okay, so the Kingdom is always competitive in GA, right? Every single year, they are a team and a force to be reckoned with. The thing about Donegal is I like the fact that every single game, there's a different player shining. There's a different player taking the reins and propelling them to victory. And I love the Avenger-like atmosphere of Donegal. And they were an underdog, and I'm always going to go for the underdog initially.
All right, brilliant, Josh. Well, listen, well done on a great video and the work that you do as well. And I like the positive vibes. There's an awful lot of crap on the internet, and it's nice when you get a nice positive buzz, and no better than you, Josh. Hopefully it's not too long before we see you back over here in Ireland, and thanks for being a good sport and joining us early where you are. We really appreciate it, Josh.
Of course, and remember, I am Jostradamus now because I called temporary winning the hurling All-Ireland finals. So if you were a betting man, put your money on Donegal.
And just before
we're gonna
you
bring
go,
home Sam.
Just before you go, Josh, can we have an up Donegal?
Up Donegal forever. I love it.
Good man, Josh. Love to all. Thanks so very much.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Are you heading to Croker Park this weekend? All roads lead to McCafferty's at the Barge, Dublin. On Saturday, 26th, enjoy a live GEA Q&A with legends Kevin Cassidy, Owen Mulligan and Mark O'Shea. Then on Sunday, catch the All-Ireland final live with music before and after from 1 p.m. till late at McCafferty's, the Barge, Dublin.
Oakfest 2025 returns to Oakfield Park this September 6th and 7th. 2 days, 2 stages, 1 unforgettable weekend. Enjoy live music, incredible food and drink, and glamping under the stars, all in one of Ireland's most spectacular settings. Saturday, live and original, featuring Wet Wet Wet, Boney M, Racy, and the Whistling Donkeys. Sunday, Legends Reimagined, with tribute performances to the Eagles, Blondie, Springsteen, and more. Tickets are going fast. Get yours now at oakfieldpark.com.
It's the 50% off mega summer sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Up to 50% off all tiles, wood flooring, outdoor porcelain tiles, cladding and bathware. Everything in store has been slashed in price. The Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 50% off mega summer sale. Stores nationwide. Sale extended until Sunday.
Looking at the Kia Sportage? Call to Heron Auto Donegal, where for just €1,500 more than the diesel model, you can upgrade to a hybrid automatic with a bigger boot, spare wheel option, and finance from just 3.9%. Drive smarter, drive further, and drive with confidence with Heron Auto Donegal Town, your trusted Kia main dealer. Book your test drive today at Heron Auto or visit heronauto.ie.
Join John Breslin and the Around the Northwest team live from O'Hare's Bakery, Main Street, Letterkenny, as they celebrate 40 years in business. This Thursday, enjoy promotions, giveaways, spin the wheel prizes, product sampling, and of course, cake to mark the occasion. Don't miss the party at O'Hare's Bakery, Letterkenny, celebrating 40 sweet years.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So the weather forecast is all right. I can't find it. The weather forecast, it's going to be dry for most with just isolated showers, a bit of cloud around, a bit of sun about. Temperatures 15 to 19 degrees. Of course, we've been talking so much about the football, and we're going to talk more about it, but our sports team are all over everything else as well. And you would have heard me mention earlier on that Erin Friel is a European Youth Olympic bronze medalist. She's brought it home to Letterkenny. Well, she's not home yet. She's out in Macedonia, and we'll be carrying that in the sport. I should mention she won a 400-metre bronze on Tuesday morning. We seem to be really good at that discipline, particularly in this county, but not least the country. And if you want to hear Erin, she chatted to Oisin Kelly from Macedonia, and you can hear a good 6 minutes with Erin Friel on our website. And also Oisin caught up with Dermot McGranahan, her coach, I believe. Dermot's her coach. He is indeed. He's the Ireland coach, actually, in fact. Okay, so it's not just about the football. Well done, Erin. We're so proud of you. If you are a fan of Erin and you want to hear her reactions from Macedonia, well, then get onto our website. They're there live for you right now. Let me see. My partner won a ticket for a voucher for a company, and it only has 30 days left on it. I don't find it very fair that companies keep vouchers as prizes and don't distribute them with ample timing. Okay, I don't know what that one's all about, but it does seem a little bit unfair. Hi, Greg and gang. If you're playing Donegal songs this week for the week that's in it, would you consider my Donegal song called The Hills and Homes of Donegal? That's from Dallin. Well, Dallin, leave it with us. As you can imagine, we're inundated and trying to be as supportive to everyone as is humanly possible. John Bresson's coming up shortly around the Northwest. Lee Gooch is going to be tapping into him from Glen Swilly. So you'll have all the usual fare from John, music and crack, but also Lee Gooch sticking his nose in to another show, but all for a good cause, live from Glen Swilly. Have a great day, everybody. And as I say, stay safe and stay tuned. John Bresson's next.